You know, for a moment there I was debating whether I should wait a little bit longer for any of these measures to be finished, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. But yes, I'm here. Good evening. Even if I did end up having a little unexpected time sync, I am nonetheless here, even though once again I noticed that the Music Bee plugin is doing that weird thing where it doesn't load the actual cover art for these songs automatically, so I have to like poke it to get it to do that. That's a bit inconvenient, but yes. Welcome in to whosoever may have found his or herself within that situation, including Lucifer Sweet Dream. Hello. Haven't spoken in a while, I don't believe. Welcome, welcome. Get a Mexican ad. I wonder what would cause that, depending on... I'm guessing that the caravats you get would be more dependent on your location than anything, or at least whatever the connection perceives to be your location, but I don't know. I mean, the ads, pretty much the only kinds of ads that I see on Twitch these days are the ones that like shrink the player a little bit and fuck with some of the player buttons that are implemented by extensions and whatnot. Haven't seen a mid-roll ad in quite a long time, thankfully, because of certain measures, but something else that I haven't seen for an excruciatingly long time, that is to say less than 2 days, is Deadly Premonition, which I will be trying to resume in just a moment. Let me see if I can, do this in a timely fashion this time. Try to sort of start to bring it forward without having to wait an unexpectedly long time, I think. Well, the thing that I'm using to play it is one of those things that has like nightly updates apparently. I don't know if like any of these actually affect how the game runs or how it's loaded or anything like that. It seems to take more or less the same, kind of goes through the same kind of motions and process every time, so I'm not even sure what to tell you there, but it should mean that in just a few more seconds, with any luck, I should be able to make it visible here. I guess I should do this preemptively and then try to figure out if I can get this thing to... Okay, yes I can, to capture it properly. And now it should just be a matter of pressing a button as soon as this thing is done with, which I think it is. Maybe. Waiting for one more thing to pop up. Oh, goodness. Wait, what? Okay, well, I guess I can just show this. It's saying, please connect the controller, even though a controller is connected. Okay, please stand by for a moment as I figure this out. But also, hello Agra, and welcome, and thank you for that resub for 28 months in a row, which is quite a lot. Imagine that it's been that long since the first time you stopped by here, but yeah, enjoy your stuff that you get when you do that, which is... I always have to like make a conscious effort to remember your extra channel points for whatever use they may have at this point. Your hopefully no ads. I'm always iffy on whether I mention that, on whether Twitch actually delivers on that. And also your... I already mentioned the channel points. Yeah, I did. There's supposed to be a third thing. Oh yeah, your emotes. That's probably the thing that you actually, get the most use out of. So yeah, alright, hold on a moment. I might have to do something real quick. Could just do this. Because I think, yeah, for some reason, right now the thing thinks that the controller that I have connected, I'm gonna try to just like disconnect it and reconnect and see what it's all. It thinks that it's on position 2 for some reason, so I could just tell it to like read off the input from position 2, but let me see if I can do this instead. If I do this, can I trick it into thinking that it's on position 1 again? I wonder. Do I need to fuck with the profile or what have you? I don't think I can actually have that option in DS for Windows, so to tell it to be like, hey, you should be on X input position 1. I don't think it's quite that far. So if it still thinks that it's number 2, which I suppose it does. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that then. Okay, never mind. Maybe I guess it won't make a big difference, I assume. Let's just go like this. It does seem to think that it's connected now, so I hope that there's no, like, unexpected complications that arise from this. Let me also lower the volume in this a little bit more, at least on my end, which I think echoes or resonates. And also does make it a little bit louder, or quieter rather, on the stream, but that is just fine. Gonna have to switch off of this playlist in just a moment anyway, because we're about to, you know, start the game, which, as I probably mentioned before. Okay, here we go. I believe the last time that we played, we did chapter 11, which is, I think, the final chapter that has like a big detour for doing side stuff. We're still gonna be doing a few side quests up until chapter 14, but until then, pretty much gonna be go easy on the side quests up until the final episodes. And I guess something I could do. Maybe switch off the espresso suit, which I've had selected for a while. Switch it for something else. Special ops suit. Attack and cash 2, hunger and tiredness 2. Well, this is like the most versatile suit as far as its effects. There's money rewards 3, which I don't think even matters in the grand scheme of things, so we probably don't necessarily want to mess with that. I guess I can go for field op suit. I don't know, there's like any other suits that have that same effect, because this one also has a money rewards effect. I guess not, other than this one, which has it in like a lesser degree, so I guess we'll bring this one out. We could also change the car to something else, I don't know. Enhanced handling, able to drift. I mean, assuming that this is supposed to be a modification for York's car, I think the one that we got last time isn't actually that great at drifting. Try to do that. There's also apparently increased max speed and faster acceleration, and this one, which is just the skin. I don't know, I'm tempted, but maybe that's for the police cars instead. I don't know, because this looks like a police car rather than York's car. Well, I guess we're gonna continue to have that selected anyway, and we have the default skin for Emily again, but I guess just so we can say that we did this at least once before the game was out, why don't we select this one and see where that leads us as we pop back into the present. Episode 2, Part 2, Fallen Goddess, it is Chapter 12, and previously, well, I think we're about to get told, yeah, what happened last time, maybe.
Thomas, did you see Nick here? No. When I got here, he was already like this.
What are you doing? Get out of the way! I'll do it!
George, stay back. She's trying to speak.
No! It couldn't be! Nick! Oh, please, no!
You got us good this time, Zach.
So yeah, I don't remember if all that happened last time, but Becky did get killed in that bizarro death trap. And then we think Nick and Diana are very suspicious now.
We need to be at Carol's bar at 2200. Looks like we have some time to kill. We can go to the diner and see how Nick and Olivia are doing.
And yeah, we could do that, but I guess, well, what time is it now? It's 8:30. We're supposed to do some tailing outside the bar at 2200, which is in 2 hours. Or an hour and a half, really. And here's our car, so I guess if that skin that I activated on the main menu affected any cars, it wasn't this one. Maybe there's like a different specific car that will actually affect, but I don't know. Now look, oh, this car actually has a thing that I didn't even remember was here, but we did see this in the beginning of the game. Basically, it has like a little GPS monitor thing that you can barely see if you go to like the zoomed out view, but still don't know what YZ1 DRFL actually means for that license plate, but maybe YZ1 is like York Sac 1 and then DRFL. I don't know. That part is the part that I don't understand, but would a car like this really have multiple messages on it? Also, do we have any more things we can talk about though?
There was another really bad one around this time of year. 3 years ago.
I suppose so.
Remember that? Yes, that's right. That one. Multiple homicide, same MO, across Utah, Colorado, and Missouri. The victims were all average married housewives. But after being run over so many times by a car, they didn't look human. 5 victims in 2 months in the 3 states. The way he killed them was always the same. But aside from that, there was nothing that linked the victims together. Well, they were all married. But age, race, nothing else matched up. Tire marks and fragments of paint ID'd the car that was used. That's where things got really tricky. The perpetrator used a 1993 model Cadillac Alante as a weapon. It was registered in the name of one Senator... No, I don't feel like talking about this anymore. That senator's basement. I wish I could forget what I saw there.
Well, I guess that means we're gonna do that one extra comment and then we are going to stop talking about that. Right? Oh boy. I feel like we may have missed a few of those little conversations that you can have in between plot events, I suppose, but that's alright. But something that I guess I'm kind of curious about is if I were to drive actually away from this part of town, I guess we're gonna be burning a little bit more time to see if we have any more of these conversations that we can activate right now. If I were to go to the gas station right now, would I be able to find it open and get a refill? Because I guess, what? Oh god. Okay, there goes Kazan. I would say that's one of the main concerns that you can have with the cars throughout this game, even though this car doesn't have the definitely a much more improved gas efficiency than like the default police cars have, at least at the start of the game. Oh, and there goes Emily too. Wonder where she's going, because that's not the direction of her house. Well, I guess we did tell her to like help out with this stakeout operation. I don't remember exactly what each person was supposed to do, but it was supposed to be like, hey, you do this and what have you. Well, let's see if we can fill her up. Let me know if you want me to pump it. Well, we can also get a car wash if you want to see that little car wash animation again. Let's get this first. We don't really need that much gas. Can't believe we can fill up the tank with less than $10. That's like the most unrealistic thing about this game, I'm sure. But what the fuck not? It's been quite a while anyway.
Hey there, cutie. Oh, you just can't stay away, can you? Oh, you don't have to say a thing. I can tell you've come for the special service.
Well, I don't think I have a choice at this point. Oh. I don't think this music played last time either. And by last time I mean the only other time we've done this.
Shiny. Looks pretty. All through.
All through, even though she barely touched the car. So I guess if anything, if nothing else, that can help me make a note. Hey, the weird song that you hear.
Special service every time from now on.
That you hear when you turn on the jukebox in the darts bar. You apparently also hear if you do this multiple times. And yeah, I guess he just kicks you out of the menu after doing that. Which is why it's a good idea to do it after the, you know, the actual gas refill. I hope nobody was using that pole. And there goes Emily. See, what were they supposed to? I think. Well, Thomas works in the bars, so I'm pretty sure his task was to, like, watch how things were going inside the bar, but I think George and Emily were each told to like keep track of Nick and Diane before they went to the bar, and then after they leave the bar, then York tails both of them presumably. But
let's focus on the case at hand. The murders with the red seeds. Officially, the Bureau has not made a statement about these seeds. Some even claim that they are irrelevant to the killings. But after the red seeds were found in a Boston homicide, I've been unable to get them out of my head. I've even gone through all of the files looking for similar cases. And we found 7 other homicides related to the seeds. The victims were all young girls, and they were killed in 8 different states. They arrested all 7 murderers, but there was no connection between them. However, we must not overlook there was one thing linking the cases together, and that's the red seeds. And I have a hunch this case here in Greenvale is going to lead us to the truth about those seeds. Don't you think so, Zach? Well, let's just do what we can do and do our best. And by doing our best, I'm sure we'll get to where we need to go.
oh, we can try, but I mean, he mentioned 8 different cases and 7 murders, so does that mean that, or at least 7 murders that were caught, so does that imply that the 8th case is the one that we're working on right now? Maybe, potentially, possibly. Well, let's stall for just a little bit longer. Maybe we can go to Alfred's general store, or not, given that it's not marked on the map or anything. What else do we have? Mash Markets Brothers. This car has a license plate, doesn't it? What does it say? Car 91. I'm not sure what that could possibly mean. There's another Mart thing. What does that say? General Mart. Wonder how it affects business to have like 3 different businesses like that apparently or presumably do the same thing. Oh, there's another Mash Market Brothers. I guess that one's a franchise. If they offer the same thing, then how competitive are they with one another? Studio GB. Rainy Woods Real Estate. I guess this is a little bit like you know, Miss Falls. I haven't talked about that, harkened back to that for, there's another one, for a while, but that's kind of a thing in that game, in the, you know, even though it's much smaller and kind of more tightly packed together, downtown, kind of central square area in that game. There's a bunch of businesses that you can see that have like unique textures and what have you, but you never actually have the option of going into them or anything. What's up with this house here? I don't know, I thought it looked a little different for some reason. Oh, we can talk again.
So, where shall we go next?
Okay, never mind. I guess we have, in fact, exhausted our messages for the time being, so let's see. I think that if you try to go in circle when the time is not right, you just get told off.
Zach, looks like we still have some time to kill. Let's pass the time elsewhere.
Alright, well, hold on. Let's back out of the circle real quick. Let's get out of the car. Guess we're getting a little bit tired of listening to the
Zach, is there something here that you want to check out?
Green Day pastiche.
Carol's Bar at 2200. We're free until then.
I guess we don't have to be in the car either, though. So if we check the inventory, though, check the weather, though. Let's see what it looks like now. It expresses rain by turning around. It's just rain now. Okay. Well, I guess there's no rain right now, so let's So when we turn it to the rain side, it actually doesn't, you know, it's not active right now, as you can tell by the health bar, but pretty sure we want to keep it in that position regardless, because in just a moment we're gonna go ahead and speed up time again until it's 10. It's not that far off, but it's better to do it this way than to just try to kill time this slow way. And here we are. Oh, here she comes.
Nick's still in the bar.
Just as we planned then. I wonder what happens next.
Agent York, you're really enjoying this, aren't you? I have to admit, I envy that.
That could be a pretty apt screenshot considering how that whole scene looks. I guess we're just in a generic police car now instead of our car. Wonder if that means I should have driven into the circle instead, but oh well.
Agent York, Nick is leaving the bar.
We'll manage.
What about Diane?
She isn't here tonight.
Emily, check that with George.
George, can you hear me? Nick's leaving the bar. What's happening with Diane?
No movement. Tell me what to do here.
Stay put, George. I'm thinking Nick will head to the gallery. Let's meet up there.
10-4. Copy that.
Agent York, it's Nick.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go.
Oh boy.
Okay. Time to play with the big boys, Nick.
And I believe this is the scene where a certain somewhat well-known capture of the game comes from. But yeah, time to follow Nick. I guess we're gonna be following him with the generic police car, but I think the main objective is to stay between 50 and 100 yards of him. Which even, in a context like this where you just see the quantity displayed in front of you at all times, so it's not like a big problem. I still think it's a very inefficient unit of distance. We're just going to slowly... Oh shit.
I think he noticed us.
How can you stay calm at a time like this? We've just failed.
No need to worry. Nick will do this all again tomorrow night.
How can you be so sure?
If he breaks his daily pattern just because he saw us tonight, then that would mean he's up to no good. We can question him then. He'll be at the bar. I'll bet dinner on it.
You sound very confident. All right then, we'll try again tomorrow.
I'll let George know that we're trying again tomorrow.
So, we have to do all this again tomorrow?
That's right. Looks like Nick gets to play with the big boys for another day.
Well, there you go. Wonder what the time's gonna be when it lets us off. No, it's damn it! It's 1 hour too late for me to simply be able to do the thing. I think in that case it might just be better to fucking reload our save. Honestly, let me just do that. Make sure that the add-on setup is the same as we left it, because sometimes reloading it. Yeah, no, it isn't. Reloading the setup can be. Still don't know what card this is supposed to affect, but anyway. Can be, because you're reloading the save, pretty much. It brings you back to before you even got into the menu. So that's a bit obnoxious. And we're still gonna be dealing with the thing where, the cutscene, like pre-rendered FMV audio is a lot quieter than the actual in-game, in-engine audio, because of the kind of quirks with how this is rendered, but let's not worry about that. I'm pretty sure we can just do this immediately, before we were kind of killing time so we can get the extra dialogue, but not anymore. I have no reason to do that. It's now exactly 2200. So I guess in this timeline we didn't get the car wash or refill the gas tank or anything like that. And we also didn't have the extra conversations, but that's okay. I'd be pretty surprised if, you couldn't, I don't know, go on YouTube and be like, Deadly Premonition, all the optional chats in the car that you can have between York and Zack. Oh god. Or all the optional lunchtime scenes that you can have at the police station, for that matter. Oh, we'll talk about. Let's just see what happens when we drive into this place with York's car instead of the police car. Nope, we still get the police car. Well, let's go ahead and skip so we can get to the action part. So I suppose it's gonna be very important to stay 52 or 50 or more yards behind Nick. Let's try to aim for about I don't know, 75 yards or 70 yards, I suppose. As the average. Because of the, at least with the sharp turns that you get in this part of town, it's like that distance is considerably cut down. I'll just give him some space as we slowly try to catch up here. I believe this is the very turn where we ended up mucking up and having him notice us before. So we'll not allow that to happen this time. Oh god, I couldn't tell if the number that was under for a moment was a multiple of 70 or rather, the first number was 7, meaning it was 70 something, or if it was 90 something. But yeah, I think that if you get over 100 yards away, even though you should clearly still be able to see him, you do nonetheless end up losing him. So I'm gonna have to be careful about that. Gonna have to drive like a turtle, but that's just okay. We do have all night after all. I mean, I guess it is probably a little more prudent to drive more carefully when it's raining like this. And you know, like Arthur Conan Doyle wrote in that one Sherlock Holmes story that takes place in the country. It's one of the earlier ones, but I always get confused about which one it actually is because there's a few that fit that description. It's either the Boscombe Valley Mystery, the Speckled Band, or the Copper Beaches. I think it's one of those, but I always forget which one. But he does say that kind of spiel about how, hey, you know, something that's actually pretty dangerous about life in the country is the lack of infrastructure. And lack of sort of human presence and the infrastructure of justice that kind of implies as well. Like, would anyone care if you were in an empty house that was miles and miles from anywhere and someone was beaten or even murdered horribly? Who would ever bear witness to such things? Is it not the isolation and the distance which makes a danger in such cases? But I guess in this case it would be more like, you know, what if your car just gets struck by lightning and randomly flips over in the rain in the middle of the night in this part of the country that's miles and miles from anywhere? Would anyone even care? Well, I guess in this instance Roman probably would find you eventually and care because you're on a road that's connected to a bunch of other roads, but even so. Okay, I don't know what's up with the turn here, I guess. It's a turn that goes to the thing. Hey, green car, how dare you? You're not supposed to, oh dear. Okay, so you don't immediately lose if you get more than 100 yards away, but it's still a very spooky position in which to be, especially considering how we already messed up. I guess now Nick is also slowing down even farther because of the fact that I think there's someone else on the road. He's gonna try to overtake. You're not supposed to overtake other cars in places where there's, you know, a double yellow line in the middle. I don't think, at least not by going over the double line. That's not allowed. I have no idea what's going on in front of me. I think there's, like, for some reason a very variable velocity that Nick is taking between or behind this other car that's in front of him. Well, yes, we can't have a chat amongst ourselves, even though I really don't think Nick would hear us if we did that. We're just kind of sitting together in silence as we do this stakeout tail operation. It's very exciting project to follow Nick. Figure out where he goes. Oh, we're going past a place where that's either Usha's house or Sigourney's house, but I think that's Sigourney's house. I think Usha's house is supposed to be like in the space a little bit farther on where, yeah, where the houses are larger. It's also to the right of the little driveway kind of road that you approach from when you get in from the highway. I think that's how it is. That one is Usha's house, and the one that's in the sort of more humble looking space is Sigourney's house. And if we go past both of these, we should be on the road that leads to both Becky's house and the gallery, depending on where you turn. I don't think it's possible to end up anywhere else, depending on how you go here. So if you turn left, that should go to the gallery, I think. And what do you know, these two are turning left. Well, I mean, they probably wouldn't be going to Becky's house either way. I think that would be more suspicious if anything. But this does seem to be confirming our theory so far. Just hope that we don't get detected at this point. It would be very embarrassing. Well, don't get detected and also don't lose him. Thankfully, Nick apparently doesn't know how to use rear view mirrors or anything like that. Or even the side mirrors, and try to figure out that he has been tailed this entire time by a very suspicious vehicle who is clearly trying to stay at the same distance behind him while following in the same route that he's taking. Then again, we shouldn't be complaining about something that works in our favor, I say. We should probably try to figure out at some point though how we're doing as far as our sleep meter and our hunger meter, and I think something that I didn't really acknowledge at all last time, even though that's one of the things I unlocked then, was that when we got all the rewards for beating the darts minigame and getting like the highest possible score in that, pretty much, the reward for that was the improved weapon bag, I think, which, if I'm not mistaken, should mean that we should be able to carry a little bit more, carry a couple more weapons around at least. I don't know. Didn't really check which weapons I have on hand right now either, but it would be quite convenient to have a couple of specific weapons on hand for this next part, I think. Oh, here we are. Here we are, and here also is the very inopportune
We'd all have halos by now if I was driving.
giant lumber truck.
I think someone's putting a curse on all the cars I drive recently.
Agent York, Nick's getting away.
Don't worry, time to get serious. Hold on, you two, this might get bumpy.
I guess that truck was driving that fast, even though presumably past Nick before he even came close to where we are. And here comes George. I guess he beat us to the punch here.
Is Nick here? George,
No, he hasn't showed up here.
what about Diane? Any movement?
No action here at all. Did something happen?
Yes, a little. But George, something's different about you. Are you okay?
Actually, I had a little drink while I was waiting. This is my first murder case, after all. I'm on edge, and I needed one. It was only a little, though. I'm still in control.
You can tell because of how red the top of my face looks, but... well, let's just ignore that.
Zach, Nick and Diane are probably both inside. George, you're sure you didn't see Nick?
Wait, what? Okay, what the fuck? Okay, for some reason the controller disconnected even though it didn't.
Positive. I haven't taken my eyes from the entrance all night.
Not that I don't trust you, George. But I'm positive Nick is here. Is there another entrance?
Not that I know of.
Well, I'll go look for one. Help me out if you can, would you?
Or just ignore me. Also, I'm pretty sure York tried to push the door, but it didn't even try the doorknob. It seems a bit, just a little bit sloppy, but also it is now past midnight, and well, George is here, but apparently Thomas and Emily have disappeared. No cars have shown up. I haven't seen Nick either. I know, George. This is not about that. And yeah, this is a bit unfortunate that that just happened with the controller. I was just talking about that like yesterday, I think, or well, not yesterday, but the last time I did this. There's George's car. Oh, I guess Emily and that's his face are here too. Emily's car is a private one, though she also uses it as a patrol car. It looks like a lot of officers do that here. And what about this car that's over here? Does this belong to someone? Thomas's car. I figured that he would choose this one. Does it? Thomas, who says TA2 Love G. I guess in reference to the tattoo that we learned that he apparently has some time back. She's quite pretty. She'd look better wearing something more fashionable than this doll uniform. Well, she's not wearing the doll uniform right now, but... well, if Nick was headed anywhere, it was here. So we're just hanging out back here. Thomas, who looks like he's about to fall asleep. Maybe he took a different side road from the forest. The sheriff says he hasn't seen him. Well, let me check. We have the Greg Hutch, the custom, the 357 Magnum, which should be the main weapons we need at least, and of course the infinite submachine gun, which we will use. You know, we're all gonna ignore the fact that there's have the hell sky that's happening right now. We've apparently all been pulled into the spooky red otherworld, but we're not acknowledging it at all. Not even York, who is the one who has the most experience with that sort of thing, presumably. Or at least he must assume so, because the others have not brought it up at all. Let us go ahead and clear as much of these obstacles as we possibly can. I don't think we need to mess with the, you know, our infinite supply of onions or anything like that right now. We're doing pretty alright as far as our sleep, tiredness, and as far as our hunger, so I guess we can maybe eat some cherry pie, I don't know, maybe in a little while. Actually, we also have black coffee, so we should be fine on that front. Can't access that. Oh shit. Well, even though, you know, our colleagues are right over there, we're not gonna ask for their help or anything when it comes to dealing with these shadows, which are also coming up from the ground. Oh shit. Even though apparently these shadows are also armed, or at least the ones that come up from this spot are. This spot which doesn't have black blotches on the floor or anything, but should be a little... Oh dear lord, okay. A little path somewhere back here that should not have been... Oh, also that guy was holding a lit torch and apparently became completely lit on fire. Okay, maybe we aren't supposed to go back here actually, but to go in the other direction. Say, you know, Thomas and Emily and George, if you're all still here, how about I tell you what just happened just a few moments ago? Maybe you should know about this. Maybe you took a different side road from the forest. Also, there's zombies back there, but I guess we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna conveniently leave that unmentioned. There's also the fact that the last cutscene was, I believe, the last in-engine cutscene in the game that has this as its backdrop, the outside of the gallery, so that should have been the last cutscene with the warning to basically don't skip it or you run the risk of crashing, but hopefully we're completely over that hurdle by now. Oh, there's a few shadows along this path. You know, George is right over there. This should all be in plain view of him, but I guess he's not gonna do anything. Guess we're gonna continue to send these first aid kits off to the toolbox, because I guess we have room for every single one that we're gonna find, but... Oh boy. Well, I thought the path was gonna be clear, but apparently not. Got a new obstacle coming our way. And I'm guessing that more of them are spawning behind us as well, which is not ideal. Neither is the fact that some of these guys are spawning just from any old spot on the ground, clearly are armed, like this guy with the shotgun shells, of which we cannot carry anymore, even though we still, you know, haven't gotten our hands on a shotgun of any description. Oh shit. And also the camera is swerving around a bit. Well, we've got a few... Oh shit, different paths we can follow here. For sure the first thing we're gonna want to do is find out which of these paths leads to this card back here, which is accompanied by a red Agent Honor, what do you know? Got the Nick Cormack card, and indeed I don't believe that this card is available until now. It's like something that prevents you from actually coming all the way back here until this scene happens. And now you're mowing down the shadows. Can't believe you're being hostile towards me, man. I even mowed down some of these fences to open the way for you. And this is the thanks I receive. I can't believe you are like this. I see a barrel. Don't see anything close to the barrel, which does seem a little more unusual. As long as we're back here, let's go ahead and open up the lock on this side of the door, as is our wont, and head into this mysterious cabin back here with the unlocked door. The unlocked door and the passage leading underground, apparently, as we hear the moaning from the creatures outside, presumably. Oh, hey Emily, didn't you see the army of zombies on the way here?
Emily, I want you guys to...
Wait out here, I know. I'm not gonna fight you about this anymore. But promise me this. If there's trouble, then you'll call us in, okay? You might not think so, but we're a team.
A team?
That's what I think, at least, and I'm interested in you and Zach. I don't want anything to happen to you before I hear more about you two.
Well, Emily, I already told you how. I'm not gonna tell you about Zach, but okay. Although I suppose if we continue to hang out together, maybe I can make an exception. But for
Did you
now...
hear that? She wants to know more about you. Isn't that a nice surprise? Amazing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zach wasn't the only one who was included in that statement, you know, York. We're kind of dodging the question here. But here we are, we made it to a new, spooky otherworld stage. Under the gallery. Let's give him an update. I guess we're not gonna have to, expend any money to do that here, but should be finding a spooky new obstacle quite soon, if I am not mistaken. Oh, picture fell. It was behind us though. Is this one that's on the other wall also going to fall? No, I suppose not. But I mean, the way that we ended up proceeding through the Becky's Mansion kind of otherworld stage was perhaps a little too cheesy, if you will. So it might be time for the paradigm to shift a little bit. Throw out some kind of new surprise at us. As we observe these very spooky tunnels with paintings hanging in them though. Pale portrait in our red background, greeting us with a creepy smile, but it's also very blurry. I don't know if like any kind of actual painting is supposed to look this blurry, but I could just walk on top of those boxes, I'm pretty sure, but this will be a little faster, I'm sure. Oh, what is this? Pressy Kit Small. Well, oh, never mind. We are now no longer able to carry any more first aid kits. That's unfortunate. This is a long hallway. What could that be about? Well, it's more of a passageway or a corridor than a hallway, I guess. More of a... just a passage.
Huh?
Well, we apparently heard something behind, but no, apparently the real surprise was about to emerge in front of us. And yeah, I think these fellas are pretty special, as you can tell. They keep on warping back and forth, and I feel, oh shit. I think there's a little something you can do, oh god, if you get up close to them with the legendary guitar. If you're... oh shit. We can apparently miss them completely, never mind. Let's try to get it off. Thankfully we do have that, you know. Very, very robust supply of heals and stuff, but we should be able to hit them with the guitar, I thought. Do we need to be, like, decloaked? Is that the ticket? I mean, we can... pretty sure we can just very clearly see where they are, so... oh, okay, never mind, that might have been it. Maybe that was it. We can pick up the first aid medium or send it to the toolbox, and I guess we will send it to the toolbox, yeah. Because I think... you either just keep on harassing it with your gun. and keep it from getting close. Or you can, I guess, dodge the grab attack that it tries to do, and then if you hit it with the guitar right after that, it's a one-hit kill. So it's probably what we'll end up trying to do. For the most part. Let's see what we got here. Another first aid kit small. I guess we could have used that if we hadn't already, gotten completely auto-healed with the weather doll. That's a thing. Do I need to change clothes right now? Let's see. It's starting to look like it's getting dirty, this deep blue suit. We could put on the field op suit. Does that say I am FBI? Well, might as well. Let's be well equipped for this mission. Got a few other suits we can change to if we want to, but let's go ahead and send that one off for cleaning. It'll cost $4 and it'll take an unknown amount of hours for it to get cleaned. Let's not worry about that. Let me check the toolbox though. Like I said, something that we might be able to do is get something more in our weapon. Oh yeah, now we can carry up to 10 weapons instead of only 4. That's quite an upgrade. And are there any more of these weapons that we want to have on hand? I guess we can get the Infinite Wesley Special just to see how it works. I think I actually got the Wesley Special. It might have been the only weapon of that type, the Infinite weapons that I got from like the first time I played through this game, because you get it from completing the Bone side quest and getting it from behind the Gravekeeper's house, and I'm pretty sure I did that at some point during my initial run of the game on PC. It's like one of the few number of side things I actually did. So probably it was the only infinite weapon that I ended up getting successfully on my, my initial run of the game. Oh yeah, and we have the effect from the suit, which I had forgotten about, where our max health is extended. Dark-Gun. I also kind of want to try the Dark-Gun just to see how, utterly ineffective this is going to be against actual enemies, but we'll do it one step at a time. Let's save. This might be one of those chapters that has, story keys, which basically means you don't want to, grab something that looks like a key and then save and then quit, because if you do that, it might not be in your inventory when you reload, and that would be very embarrassing. Okay, so... Oh, apparently the dart gun is good enough for shooting off locks anyway. I guess now we're just inside the gallery, found the back way in, but now it's the spooky version of the gallery. And I think we get a spooky puzzle to go with it.
This is the entrance hall.
May have already noticed the pattern, but...
What are you doing here? So it was you. Much more astonishing than I imagined. I'm impressed. No! Don't! I'm not gonna stop!
Too much noise. We're still missing a vital piece of the puzzle.
Well, it's always that way, isn't it, York? It's unfortunately not too simple to just get the solution. Nobody to greet us, of course. Oh well. I guess we can't examine anything else here. Just the empty reception desk as usual. Then nobody greets. We can put something down, but now we don't have anything that we should put down here. I think I'm gonna give up the Rod of Legends. I mean, I don't know if we're even gonna get any use out of the Rod of Legends at this point. I don't know how it would be different from the regular Rod, to be honest with you, because I don't think we're gonna be fishing for any more of them trading cards. But, well, the spooky tree with hands is right there. I haven't even made any comments, I don't think, about how there's actually a tree called the, that has, well, how do I explain it? I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it that doesn't sound terribly awkward, but for some reason I am failing miserably. There's a tree in Mexico called, or at least the name that it has in Spanish is something like the Tree of Little Hands. That's because the flowers that sprout from it have the appearance kind of little red hands, and I don't know, that always comes to mind whenever I see the spooky trees in this game. Seems like a big coincidence. Unless it isn't, but I get the feeling that at this point it would probably be a little, yep, a little, oh boy, reasonable to assume that it is in fact a coincidence, but I'm being very daring and seeing if I can pull off these shots with the dart gun, even though, as you can tell, we are once again doing the red hot pressure track because we are being timed. Okay, maybe I shouldn't use the dart gun for this one. So we can pick up the green apple. If they're still green, then they aren't ready yet. Green apple on a pedestal, for that matter. Okay, surely now that we're a little bit closer, it's gonna be easier to hit these things. Okay, there we go. Another one has fallen. Red just the way I like him. And if they are overripe, though, would they still be edible? Nope. Oh, we're putting some darts into this spooky red flesh tree at any rate. And also the ripe apple. It's a little too ripe for me, but I don't know, I think it would be a little bit difficult to, like, visually tell apart the ripe apple from the one that's just marked red apple. There's also a picture here which doesn't look natural. Some parts are not in the right place. And yeah, you would think that maybe these pictures that have the spooky shadows on them, maybe they are the ones that would maybe serve as monster spawners or something, like the, you know, spooky black splotches that the shadows actually tend to come out of elsewhere, but, well, I mean, no monsters have spawned so far. So maybe that won't happen in this room, or maybe we're waiting just a little longer to decide that the time is right for that to happen. I mean, we got this very spooky apple puzzle, even though it's hinting of a man staring into the distance with a firm gaze, holding a red apple. You know, there's your flavor text in case you can't figure it out on your own. Hey, what do you know, we survived. And well, I guess didn't become a spawner of multiple monsters, but she did in fact come out of the painting, just like in Ghostbusters 2. Okay, let's try out the Wesley special. Maybe actually no. Let's try the dart gun real quick. Just want to see what happens when I try to shoot a regular shadow with this thing. She asks you to stop, so I think maybe we're doing at least a little bit of damage, but I'm guessing we're doing like a miserably small amount of damage with this thing. Oh, but we got a headshot. We might have actually just done enough damage to kill her. No, but never mind, we did enough damage. So I think that means that it probably does comparable damage to like the regular default gun anyway, the 9mm custom, but it's just a pain in the ass to actually aim because you can't see where the crosshair is or anything. So let's try this one instead. See how long it takes to burn these fellas with. Apparently not very much. With the Wesley special. But let's try try to use it anyway. We do need to, you know, continually reapply the fire too, which is a bit unfortunate. Some parts are not in the right place. I guess we have to kill a few more dead fellas. And maybe read the painting description again. Painting of a baby holding a blue apple in its tiny hands. I don't think that's correct at all, but maybe if you go by the flavor text as a reference to try and solve the puzzle here, you'll be searching up and down the place for the blue apple. Hey, I guess we finally got the 12 gauge shotgun. CQB, whatever that means. So we can just give that a try. We do have a lot of shotgun ammo, even though we have, you know, a large arsenal of other weapons. I can also just give that one a try, because, you know, we've been getting shotgun ammo for quite a long while, and yet we haven't actually gotten a shotgun in our hands until now. So I might as well give it a try. Can carry up to 7 shotgun shells. What? Some parts are not in the right place. What do you mean? Do I need to, like, smack it out of the way? Are we hitting the picture frame, or are we hitting the door? Well, maybe we need to do something different. I mean, we use the... Oh wait, there's something here. What do we got? Red seeds. Okay, red seeds in an evidence bag. I guess we need to find red seeds that have mysteriously appeared and take them as one of the profiling pieces, I'm gonna guess. Just take them in, even though... I get the feeling these aren't even the first red seeds that we've seen in this place during this particular sequence, but I guess I'll reveal something.
You? What are you doing here? So it was you. Much more astonishing than I imagined. I'm impressed. No! Don't! I'm not gonna stop!
Alright, well, I guess without beating up all those shadows after solving that painting puzzle and collecting the red seed bag, we couldn't possibly ever move that frame from in front of the door. How many weapons do we have in hand right now? Because I guess the new limit is 10, but I don't even know if that's even close to what we're gonna be able to carry at the end as far as the infinite weapons and all that stuff. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I have room for 2 more. If I wanted. I guess I can do away with the wrench and or the dart gun, but... Well, like I said, let's see if we can try out the shotgun. The vines are entangled around the guiding rope and no go for sure, even though we could literally just, I don't know, squeeze him to just step over the thing and go underneath the rope that's on top of your, like eye level with you, or like neck level. Maybe we're just too paranoid that something will happen if we try that, which, you know, fair, I would say in this situation. But it gets small. No, I guess we're gonna be ignoring those as well, because we've just been hoarding them for the longest time, and they are not going to be of much use to us at this point, especially with the weather at all, I don't think. I don't know if we've even used a single, oh my gosh. Okay, well, that was pretty swift. I would say that's worthwhile. shotgun does seem to pack quite a punch. Key to special exhibition room. Okay, I believe this is one of the story keys, so let's try to not save from this point on until the end of the chapter. To avoid that spooky glitch. Being very cautious about all kinds of glitches, even though I haven't actually encountered any crashes or anything like that yet in this run of the game. But hey, better not complain about that, or funny stuff will begin to happen. I think we're gonna switch back to the infinite SMG. Probably be a little more swift, if you will. Wait, what? How many of these things do we have right now? Shotgun. We just used three shotgun shells. I guess we can use one more. Reload and... okay, just do that instantly. And take these. If I go into my inventory right now though, and go to my weapon stuff, how many of these will I see that I haven't had? Apparently 70, really. So I guess I can have 7 chambered and 70 on standby for a total of 77. Oh, one moment, this door is locked. I just need to confirm that. And even though there's literally no reason for me to be stingy with ammunition at this point, probably shouldn't try to get in here. Well, no, I think we should try to get in there, considering that we need to explore as much of this place as possible. Oh, it's locked, but we probably have the key. I forgot about that little detail. There's literally no reason for me to be stingy with ammo, considering that I have multiple infinite ammo weapons, but still, you know. Old habits die hard, I would say, even though I don't know how old that habit really is. Just as old as I realized, I should probably try to be as efficient as possible. When it comes to certain things, stiletto heel shoe broken. Becky must have sent these with her letter. What, the shoes? So she sent the letter and the shoes to Diane together? That seems a bit weird, but okay. We're going by that. Is it the same type of heel that we found at the tree site? Maybe that's why we assumed that that was the case.
What are you doing here? So it was you. Much more astonishing than I imagined. I'm impressed. No! Don't! I'm not gonna stop!
I'm not entirely sure how the presence of the heels is helping us. Helping us reveal those scenes at this point, though. I mean, maybe it actually was Diane wearing those shoes, because I think it was mentioned at some point that, like, the shoes that we assume Becky was wearing when she went to the tree was a pair that she had actually borrowed from Diane. That was mentioned at some point. Still don't quite see how that would help us have a vision of the killer by himself, I guess, at the end. Standing over a table or some such, whatever that was. Oh dear. You say, where are you, even though you know perfectly well where I am? Are these shotgun shells? Yeah, well, maybe I should use the shotgun some more, but considering it would take a minute for me to actually swap over to that weapon. Okay, no, I get the feeling that these guys are not gonna stop spawning here, so maybe we should keep moving. Where are we gonna go, though? Okay, here. And who are we gonna find now that we've come down here into the basement where, like, one of the spooky paintings was? Oh, here. And I guess these guys are having a party. Just coming in and crashing the party. That seems to happen a lot in video games. It happened in Resident Evil. It's happening in this game. And once again, I guess, better make sure to open each thing of these storage units. Even though a few of them are clearly marked as special with little red sparklies. Feel somewhat compelled, though, to ignore those for the time being. And see what I can possibly find if I check every other one. There's also whatever's here. It's just like a trapdoor leading somewhere else, even though it has red sparklies. It doesn't seem like we can interact with it, though. I did find, like, smoked salmon in one of these things the last time we came down here, though, I think. Well, we got a small first aid kit of the type that we can't really use anymore. Or carry anymore, rather. We can definitely use them if we really want to, but I think they're very much redundant at this point. Well, my thoroughness be rewarded, kind of. I mean, there's more shotgun shells, but even though we have a shotgun now, we're also just benched it again in favor of these infinite weapons that we've had for quite some time. Oh goodness. Oh boy. It's that spooky inverted peace sign. Is there an engraving plate thing at the bottom of this circular painting? I guess we assume that's what it is. It's a circular frame. Not part of her collection, I figure. But apparently it is the final piece to complete our profiling, so...
What are you doing here? So it was you. Much more astonishing than I imagined. I'm impressed. No! Don't! I'm not gonna stop!
Someone may be calling out for help here. Is that happening in, like, the present? I guess it is. Well, the present in this spooky death world, though. We can step on the circular painting, I guess. Ignore its value as evidence that probably should be preserved. And head down here. I think, yeah, I spy another phone. We might as well use it. And see what lies beyond. Are we, I guess, since we just went down the ladder, gonna go to the spooky underground tunnels for a little while longer. I guess we can try to fight, if we find more of those crawling shadows, we can try to fight them with the... Oh goodness. The Magnum, which is supposed to be like the alternative thing that's recommended for that. Okay, that was not particularly worthwhile. Yeah, it's Wesley special. It's a handy weapon to have, given that it's probably the easiest infinite weapon to obtain. Well, debatably. I mean, you do need to pay a good chunk of money to get the special map that we... Oh shit, hold on. I forgot, or did not realize rather that this thing was out of fuel. Yeah, it takes a good chunk of money to pay for the special map A, which is what you need to unlock the infinite SMG, which is probably the most versatile. Oh boy, here we go. Versatile of these guns that you can get in the early game, at least. Yeah, let's try to fight this. Oh, never mind. Apparently, we needed only one shot of this thing to kill the spooky Onryo shadow that crawls on the ceiling. Yeah, I get feeling that even though the Wesley Special is literally a flamethrower, the easiest gun for actually clearing out debris and such is definitely the machine gun, or the fastest gun. The fastest gun for taking care of just about everything. Oh boy, this does seem to be the machine gun. Oh goodness me. Are you showing me your butt? You are. That's not very nice. Okay, no, I thought maybe... I was led to believe that it was going to take multiple shots of this thing to kill one of these things, but I guess that was incorrect. You can literally just get one well-aimed headshot and you're good. Now let's grab this. Should have room for some more first aid kit mediums anyway. Is there one more? Is it that obvious? Well, there's one more of something anyway. It's not quite the... Fuck. Oh my god, okay. The type of shadow I was expecting, but... It was very spooky nonetheless. Maybe I'll try fighting, if we get another one of those crawling shadows. Maybe I'll try fighting it with a machine gun just to see how different it's really gonna be. Also a chocolate chip cookie. Maybe we can take that and like just use it immediately. This is the Nintendo shit cube. Okay, that might be a little too much of a obtuse reference to make at a time like this, but come on. Oh, and a first aid kit large. I mean, there's only a couple parts in the game, like I mentioned, that only come until very late in the game, where I can even think that these first aid kits are actually going to be legitimately useful. But we'll get to that in due time. So what do we got? We got another thing. Could shave, but I guess I'm gonna do the soon-to-be November challenge, even though it isn't even November yet, and maybe we'll try to get to the end of the game without York ever shaving. Oh, and it's actually kind of a... Yeah, I'll pop the chocolate chip cookie. It's not particularly impressive. I guess we'll actually have a rest, given that we've apparently gotten quite tired. To imagine, looks almost brand new, this filled up suit, but that might not be the case after we have a rest here. The rest for, I guess, moderate sleep. See how that leaves us, and if we still really need rest after that, which we don't really that much, then we could, I don't know, pop one of them there. Black coffees, but maybe not. So let's see. This could probably be a good time to use one of our food items to fill up the hunger bar a little bit more. I guess we're finally gonna use this smoked salmon as well. That almost filled it up completely, I think. And now we don't have it anymore, but that's okay. Let's do this, yes. Do another save. We don't need to change our loadout, I don't think, but let's shoot off the lock and see where we end up as we get out of here. another locked door. I'd be able to break this if I hit it hard enough, like with a bullet, for example. What if I break this vase? No, apparently this vase is a phantom vase. That cannot be broken. Well, we did find all of the, profiling pieces, so yeah, I guess these last couple of rooms are just symbolic.
Nick.
And Nick is here. Nick is here in this scene where apparently Diane is left hanging above this giant, very pointy sculpture.
George, call for assistance with the body.
Wait! She's still alive.
Diane, don't move. Don't move your hands and stay still.
George, it's no good. It won't budge.
Emily, stand back.
There's not enough time.
Guess we're trying to get that giant thing out of the way so that she won't fall onto it.
Catch us!
I mean, that's pretty much mandatory, I would imagine, given that if that hadn't happened, she would have just fallen like 2 stories.
Call an ambulance!
What? What?
Even if she hadn't fallen onto that very spiky statue.
Agent York, George, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I think I'm too old to be an acrobat, though.
Diane looks okay too. She should be able to tell us who did this to her.
God, I hope so. But you, George, quite a catch. I'm impressed.
George? Diane.
Oh, yeah. What a beautiful beach. The reaching one who feel off in many directions. Combinating in sharp voices, glide away into nothingness, inspiring a truly deep eroticism in all who clear. Every woman will find herself about being penetrated by those sharp voices. This piece evokes unimaginable desire. And yet, this is far more than a wooden piece of art. It is a piece of masterpiece by elegant chemical sugar. Baking beauty.
Diane!
Stop right there, Nick. You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Diane Ames.
Back off! Don't touch me!
Diane, no! Move!
Emily, hurry!
I requested... and...
Thomas will need a body bag, too. Nick, quiet.
Can you hear that?
Hmm?
Now I guess everything's fine now that Willie's here.
I think he wants us to follow him. Shall we follow, Zach?
Willie, who just came in from the rain and ignored the murder that happened here. Oh, it's not like we're gonna leave now, of course. We should follow Willie. Well, Nick is here, I guess we're making him stop and come with us, because it's very suspicious that he was just kind of here when this whole scene happened. Diane, why? Even though his face is like blackened and fucked up. I wonder what actually happened before we showed up. But then again, well, that is the whole question, is it not? Apparently we can't interact or observe the, the centerpiece of this whole room right now. We called an ambulance, but keep an eye on George and Nick, we might still need it. Make sure no one touches Diane's body either. Well, once again, we pretty much found someone alive, but we completely failed in making sure it stayed that way. I can still feel her hand. Going after Willie, just take it easy here. I'm sure it'll be fine with these other fine people in the room. And there's Willie. Well, I guess we can't get close to George without going next to Willie. But we can now. We did what we could, but we still lost her. Can you believe it? It wasn't all your fault, George. I'll go see what Willie wants to show us. I'll leave the rest here to you. Well, clearly it was Nick's fault who shoved George into the thing.
Willie is calling for us.
Well, I guess we can't go any farther back into that room, except precisely that far, so we're not gonna get to examine the body right now, I guess. Not any further than we already have. And oh yeah, there's like a bloody trail along the floor that we hadn't even seen. That's apparently going back to wherever this is. Might be a good idea to, it's just, actually, never mind, we're moving in the opposite direction of the bloody trail right now, for the sake of following Willy. Wonder where he would want us to go, though. We are taking a spontaneous whirlwind tour of the gallery. I know we've been here before. But well, as it happens, this won't actually be the last time that we end up following Willy like this. There's a certain part later on that's a bit more of a standout in that regard, but hey, Willy, I'm here. Where do you want me to go now? Hey, are there, like, no doors here in this doorway, so wait. Well, they're just open doorways that lead into this, like, open courtyard, so wouldn't the rain get in and, like... Wouldn't that be a hazard for, you know, preserving the well-being of these paintings and stuff? Seems like an odd way to design a gallery, especially, you know, knowing that this is a place where it rains a lot. Well, I guess we took the very roundabout way to follow the blood trail, but now we're following the blood trail in the opposite direction. We're actually heading back towards the entrance. Yeah, pretty sure we are. What's going on, Willy? Where are we going? Are we turning around now? No? Kinda, sort of. We're just gonna walk in a circle around this room. And now we're actually gonna go to where the end of this place is, or this trail. Which, luckily, seems like it's already open from the last time we were here. Well, what does it say here? Is that office? Prison? Office room? I think it says office room on that plate. It's kind of hard to read. But we're gonna find out what's in here anyway. Looks like it could be like a part of a living quarters even. Did Diane live here at the gallery? There was like a corner with it like this. And maybe... yeah, there's like a bathroom and everything. Maybe there's a bedroom too. This could easily be place to live in. And you're right next to your workplace, so yeah, I guess so. You got a sofa, you got a bed and everything. I guess you did live here. And I guess we got like a suitcase. Oh, and stuff in the bathroom here, but are we still following Willy, or are we trying to like research, investigate this stuff on our own? It seems kind of evident that we probably need to get in here. I guess we're just going in. Just going for it. Into this very shiny chrome bathtub, this place with a mirror. Not bad. This place with a suitcase and something up here, a stabilizer. I guess I might as well take it, even though I don't know if we're gonna use it ever again now that we've completed the darts quest. I mean, this is like where the big splotch is, I suppose. That is at the other end of that blood trail, but it's almost brand new, no problem. There's no reason to change out of our suit right now. Into a different one. Oh wait, there's something back here. What could this be about? On close inspection, there are tracks on the floor. Grooves, perhaps. We might be able to move this sack. Move it in that direction, even. And find out what's back here. Oh, it's one of these these ladders that goes underground, and apparently one of Kaysen's red seedlings that was left in here. Isn't that something else?
Are you out there?
Oh goodness, wouldn't you know it?
Kaysen, what are you doing in there?
York, is that you? Thank God. I can't get this door open. Can you unlock it from your side?
Kaysen, stand away from the door.
Where's Diane? And what are you doing here?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
Well, let's just say I have my reasons, you know, private reasons. I don't really have to tell you, do I?
Actually, you do. Diane just died a moment ago.
What?
You're not just a key witness now. You're now a suspect. And you need to tell me exactly what you were doing here.
Well, I just came here to talk with Diane, to have a conversation.
And I suppose that kiss mark on your cheek is from your conversation.
This was just a spur-of-the-moment thing.
Which is exactly what killed Diane.
Okay. I came here to be with Diane. You happy now? We've been together before, a couple times. It's one of the reasons why I like coming to this town, see? This time is no different. I bumped into her in a bar in Seattle. I had some holiday coming up. Well, so I just took it and I drove her back here. I have a wife, you know, but we've been separated for a while. We're going through a divorce right now, and I don't want her lawyer finding out. Anyway, how could I kill Diane if I was in a room locked from the outside? 2 hours ago, me and Diane, we were taking it easy, drinking upstairs. We were, you know, enjoying ourselves. Then Nick had to show up. Well, then Diane had a sudden change of heart. She locked me up in here.
I just let her.
I've just been here, waiting for her to come back, of course, but she didn't. I heard footsteps a couple of times, but they just passed by. Well, then I couldn't wait anymore, so I let Willie here out through the window. Then you showed up instead of Diane.
Zach, Diane has become the third victim of our killer. And nada from questioning Nick. Nothing. Got no new leads from questioning Nick. He's taken the death of Diane really badly. In shock, the works. He claims to have liked talking with her about art, but he also had a problem with her views about men. He says that they argued, but not at a level that would lead to a murder. They were about to head out to the bar again together, but while he was waiting for Diane, someone knocked him out cold. He has no idea who it was either. Of course, Kaysen looks like a prime suspect, but that door was locked from the outside. There was no other way in or out of that room, which means there is no evidence of his involvement at this time. He did say something else. The footsteps he heard outside the room were not heels, but a man's boots. And Nick was wearing boots. But now that Diane's dead, no one can back up Nick's statement, which is why we have Nick in custody and have to let Kaysen go free. That seemed like the only option, at least for now. One more thing, Zach. George looked terribly depressed. I guess this case is really getting to him. He's feeling responsible for the deaths of Becky and Diane. take his rules and confidence away from him, I wonder what's left. Well, of course, he'd still have muscle.
And that's where we're gonna cut off that line of thinking. Well, they did say that apparently this is the first murder case that's ever happened in this town. And apparently he was drinking just before we got to the gallery, even though he came ahead of us. It's a good thing that didn't end up interfering with anything he did. But now that we've gotten that over with...
Zach, let's get back to the hotel. First Anna, then Becky, now Diane. I'm not looking forward to writing this investigation report.
Agent Morgan. York. Do you have a moment?
What is it, George?
There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Do you have any time later?
Can't we just do it here?
If possible, I'd like to go to a bar. Of course, we don't really have to.
A bar? Now that sounds like a good idea. Zach, what do you think? We can go drinking with George, or turn him down and head back to the hotel.
Well, the last time we got an offer from our colleagues to go take it easy for a while, it was completely worthwhile, so let's see what happens here.
George, that scar on your cheek. Where did you get it?
This? Didn't I tell you? Well, it's not from work. I got it when I was a kid.
A childhood injury. Tree climbing? I used to get a few scrapes myself climbing the big tree in our backyard. I used to climb it a lot, and fall out of it a lot.
This wasn't anything like that, though. It was my mother. She did it.
I'm sorry, George.
Don't worry. It's ancient history. The world is flooded with unreasonable violence. The strong overpower the weak, adults over children, men over women, and criminals over their victims. I have no memories of my father. He left before I knew him. My mother would hit me every time I asked why. And it didn't stop there. If I ate too slow, left my shoes scattered around, TV volume too loud, she found reasons to hit me. Hit me bad. The worst was what she called the tree punishment. She'd whip my back with these thin tree branches like a whip.
Please, Mama. I won't do it again. That hurts, Mama. I'm sorry, please. I'm sorry.
Tree punishment was definitely the worst, I tell you. Just hearing those words used to make me shiver and want to pass out. And that's why I didn't want to show you those scars on my back. Every time after the tree punishment, she'd always say the same thing. This is hurting the tree more than it is hurting you. And me, being a naive, dumb kid, I believed her. I went to the woods to apologize to the trees. I kept asking myself, why is she hurting me this way? I thought long and hard about it. In the end, I've just figured I'm weaker than her. That's why. It's the law of Mother Nature at work. The strong eat the weak.
But now, you have the power to protect the weak.
That's right. Perhaps I should thank my mother for guiding me into this line of work. York. I've been an arrogant fool, haven't I? And if it weren't for me, both Becky and Diane would still be alive. I could have saved them both. You know, It's almost like they died because of me.
You're out of your mind.
I invited you to this bar for a drink. But I guess this bar is my confession chamber. And I wanted you to listen. And to tell you, well, you must already hate me for causing all these problems, not following your orders. York, I'm sorry. I'll follow your orders from now on. You'll have my total cooperation.
George, you've been as cooperative as you can be. You even invited an FBI guy to a bar for drinks. You've done a good job protecting this town. And the folks here respect you for that. Nobody can blame you for anything.
Thanks. I do feel a little better.
And there we are. Hey, George. That was a pretty heartfelt talk. You want to say anything more?
Since we're here, why don't you talk to a few other people? I'll just finish off my drink. Let me know before you leave, okay?
Well, alright, I guess we're gonna do that. I mean, Carol's here. Wonder if she has anything to say, if she's already heard about what happened.
Hey, Carol. Becky is dead. Diane, too.
Well, now she knows.
We've got Nick in custody as a suspect.
Nick didn't do it.
I know. Carol, you took a locket from Diane, didn't you? A locket with this mark on it.
I'm busy, gotta go.
I guess we're smirking at how she just dodged the question. And now we're gonna watch her sing. Hey, it's just like in Missouri Falls with that other lady, the one with a near-death experience. I suppose now everyone, including myself, will turn their attention to this pianist with the giant eye bags. Giant dark circles under his eyes. Oh, there's your obligatory, very poignant Twin Peaks inspired scene as well. Actually quite a bit more poignant than, you know, the equivalent from Missouri Falls, which I did mention before. Folks here sure drink a lot. She might be the main reason they come here, though. And hey, look, it's the same dude that's at the piano with his giant dark circles, but he's just over here and he's over there at the same time. How curious, but I don't think there even is anyone else we can talk to other than Carol. And George. Brother's at the sheriff's department, isn't he? Well, I mean, he works there. Poor guy having to watch over Nick, who didn't even do anything. I suppose that's all she's gonna say. If we try to take a look here in the back, presumably it's gonna be the same thing. The anteroom, which we've already been to, probably shouldn't be trying to get in here. Storage room, if we're gonna have a drink, I'd prefer the counter. How curious. And there's not like restrooms here or anything by the looks of it. Oh wait, never mind. They're right here, but for some reason they're not marked any differently. Well, we were told by George to let him know when we were, like, done. Maybe he has something more to say now.
Sorry to keep you waiting, boys.
And so does...
Zach. Emily is already a goddess of the forest.
And there's Emily, whose, I guess, outfit for this scene completely overrides any...
Let's forget work for a bit and drink a little, shall we?
Any custom skin.
York? Why is she here?
I just thought the more the merrier. You know, to relax and get loose. Is this a problem?
No, of course not. Pardon me, Emily, but I'm pooped. I think I'll just call it a night.
George, I just got here and you're walking out on me? I was hoping the three of us could have a drink and let out a little steam.
I'm afraid I've already had enough. And I already had a good man-to-man with York. So I'll see you guys.
Well, dang. Don't even want to have seltzer water or anything like that.
I think George likes you, but he's avoiding you all at the same time.
How astute.
There's a reason?
Nothing worth going into. It's a thing of the past. Okay. He did ask me out when I first came to town. I was still in high school.
But I'm guessing he wasn't, though.
I never really considered him my type. And there's the age gap thing, too. I respect him, of course. I wouldn't have taken this job otherwise.
So, did you move to this town alone?
Of course not. I came with my parents.
Tell me about them, then.
Sure, why not? My dad dealt in stocks in New York. He was hardly at home when I was a kid, always working. Those pieces of paper were far more important to him than I was. Which is no different now, really. I don't see much of him. My mother? Totally different story. A wonderful person that I still respect. She was always kind and understanding. Not only that, but she would always help me find my way. She could be fierce, too, scolding me if I took a wrong step. We had our battles, sure, but all in all, she was a wonderful mother.
Past tense?
Yeah, she's gone now. Cancer, just before I graduated high school. She gave this to me just before she died. I take it with me wherever I go. It's what I treasure most.
I'm sure she's very proud of you.
Is that like a literal gold leaf? I wonder if that means anything. But maybe now that we have this, we've had this very nicely stylized night out with our colleagues.
I had a good time tonight. Good night.
See you tomorrow.
Well, except for Thomas.
York.
Kind of ironic since he's the one who's usually at the bar.
Yes.
Please, don't lie to us, okay?
I won't. Don't worry. I won't.
Oh. But also we're back here. And we have our handy dandy car, but I don't think we're gonna be driving anywhere right now, especially considering that we have the, you know, the warp thingy, which I believe we're gonna be using in just a moment. As a matter of fact, we're actually going back into the gallery. Could go back to the hotel, and I probably should go back. Well, actually, no. I say could go back to the hotel. I think that's the place we're supposed to go, but we're gonna have to take care of something a little bit different first. And right now, well, you will notice, or you will have noticed the marker that says I can just pop in there and do the Otherworld replay right now. But, and we will be doing that in just a moment, but I'm not even sure why the notes that I have that are based on a guide, like I mentioned that you should sleep for 12 hours first. I don't know why. It's gonna be about 10 a.m., 10:30 when we wake up. Oh, and maybe we can, you know, speaking of something to eat, maybe we can go and have lunch at the police station now. Now, hold on a moment. Okay, guess I'm gonna try to do things this way. We have until 13 o'clock, right, to actually get the lunch at the police station, so let's do this first. Let's grab the onion. All 3 of the onions, so we can increase our hunger bar a little bit. Yes, I don't think we actually have any other food items that we can use right now, do we? Nope. Took your time to eat. Did you really? No, our hunger bar is about half full, but it'll do for now. I mean, it's kind of implied that maybe that makes time go a little bit faster, but I don't believe that's the case at all. But anyway, we're gonna pop back into the replay. Since, as with all the other replays that we've done, we want to do this so that we can get more money. Even though that's not the main reason. We want to do this so that we can get a card, which is only accessible here during the replay. Oh, actually managed to headshot the dude in the back from that far away. That was a bit surprising. I don't know if we're really going to be finding anything that we... Yeah, our toolbox is too full of mission knives at this point. Don't know if we're going to be finding anything that's going to be really useful at this point from any of the item drops that we're going to get here, but... might as well check each thing, nonetheless. This can only lead to good things, after all. Like, what is this here? A stabilizer. We can't keep any more of those, never mind. Oh, and we don't have the weather doll in the correct position. Let me go ahead and fix that, might as well. It is actually not raining right now, so let's flip it. And now, we are under its protection. Again. And I was kind of wondering, after I killed the last of the crawling shadows, I wish there comes another one. What if we fight one of these things with nothing but the fucking machine gun? Oh shit. Oh yeah, the fucking spooky noxious gas. I forgot about that, honestly. So it's just kind of more obnoxious to fight these things without the strong weapons, because, you know, they take longer to die, and you have to dodge this spooky poison clouds that they shoot. But I am devoted to this experiment, I suppose. Oh shit, oh fuck, okay. Also don't let him grab you with that. Okay, there we go. So that was not particularly worthwhile. Let's just fight those fuckers with strong weapons from now on. When we run into them again. Yeah, I think I know based on my notes too where the trading card is gonna be. It's gonna be in the room in the basement that has like the sliding things. It's probably gonna be in one of those. Don't think we're gonna want to mess with anything in this room right now. Not particularly worthwhile. I'm honestly a little bit paranoid about even saving in one of the Otherworld replays. I get a feeling that might be a tacit invitation for disaster, but I don't know. I've not seen any comments anywhere that that might be a particularly bad idea, but better safe than sorry with this game. Just a lesson I've learned. Kill you. Alright, well. Which is the door? That's not this one. The door that leads out of here is not that one, but rather the one that's behind here. Just need to clear out this place a little better as we make our way over there. I think we already killed this dude, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Water bullets. I thought those might end up being, you know, shotgun shells, which is something that's marginally more useful since we don't have anything like an infinite ammo shotgun quite yet, but I'm pretty sure that is something else that we'll end up getting before this whole thing is over and done with. And yeah, most of this stuff that we can sort of find isn't even something we can actually pick up, though, just because we have too many of those things in our inventory and or toolbox already. Ooh, oh shit, oh Jesus, okay, that's unfortunate. Let me... Let me try and fail repeatedly to shoot this guy in the head. What is going on here? I guess bullets just don't travel that far, period. I'm starting to doubt whether it's even, you know, this is just how far we've come. I'm starting to doubt whether it's even worthwhile to open these boxes, considering that we're just got so much junk in our inventory. It is happening again. Oh fuck, actually, I've gotten nicked by one of the enemies. What a rare occurrence. Well, let's just get out of here. There's really not much of a reason why we ought to linger. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna pop over here and... yeah, gameplay. Range of like 3 feet, apparently. Well, either that or just like very selectively aiming like at the very fringes of where the actual enemies' heads are. Except that stuff managed to land in that last flurry of bullets that I left. But for some reason he just sometimes decides that nope, it's not quite... well, I mean, I can't complain, I do have a machine gun with infinite bullets, so I feel like that in itself is enough to keep me appeased. Even if it does make me puzzle from time to time. Okay, is this the place? This might be next to the place anyway. Yeah, here we go. This should be where the trading card is. Just need to figure out exactly where it is. I'm guessing, oh, it's just right here. It's on circular painting thing that we found the first time. It is the crawling shadow card, and I think you can vaguely see some eyes on those things. Even though that is not something that I think was visible on the actual crawling shadow enemies, but... Well, once again, even though I have also serious doubts about whether or not we're going to need any more money than we already have, might as well go ahead and do what I usually try to do, which is get all the way to the end of the map again, even though we can just leave whenever by going into one of those blue circles. And we can leave without consequence, and with the knowledge that we've accomplished all that we came here to do now that we've collected the card, which... Okay, I still feel compelled to bust these boxes in the corner, even though I doubt whether or not I'll get anything, oh shit, worthwhile from them. And I'm definitely putting myself at risk by doing so, but it's better than saying I was there and did not take advantage of that opportunity. Oh, and I guess we need to reload. We don't get to fight another crawling shadow right now, do we? Nope. Okay. So the Magnum is immediately below the machine gun. I'm actually kind of curious if I think we're gonna fight some more of these shadows in just a moment, so if I were to use one of my shotgun shells to try and fight it, would it have the same punch as the... what do you call it? As the Magnum. No, apparently not. These guys will not die in one shotgun shell impact, but they will die in two. Okay, that's interesting. I guess it goes by like Resident Evil scale of increasingly more powerful ammunition types. Or I guess the Magnum trumps the shotgun. With that in mind, better get that handy for these next few encounters. Just gotta wait a moment for this creature to come out here and stop showing me its butt. And actually face me. And I think there's just one more at the end of this hallway, but... well, we can proudly... actually, no, never mind. I think that was the last one. It's just a complete fake out, because you see the open vent at the end of this hallway, but... but you don't actually fight one here, you just fight these regular dudes that are right around the corner. This game always seemed like a mixed bag. Well, I think it's definitely... it definitely stands out just because of how it was made and how it is presented, but when it comes to the gameplay, yeah, it definitely comes along, or comes down to how memorable the actual world and the characters and the writing are, because I feel like if it didn't have that, the general perception of the gameplay would probably be a lot different. Or of the game in general, I guess. I don't know if the perception of the gameplay in general would be that different. I think even with the strong aspects that it has backing it, it's not necessarily assumed that the gameplay is that special in itself. And I guess we can't go any farther than this, because we got this blue circle blocking the door, so I guess now we made it to the end here. Augustine, I've had enough for now. Let's get out of here. That's the Otherworld replay complete. And I think the sound of that, I'm not even sure why that happens, but I guess the sound of that is sound of my hunger bar being refilled, I believe. So I am led to believe I indeed it is, yeah. I guess my hunger and sleep bars are refilled entirely, I suppose. And now that we've done that, yeah, no time has passed here in the regular world. Let's pop over to... Actually, are we supposed to go to the sheriff's department right now for like the plot, or is that technically an optional thing? Let's see what the mission thing says. It says, let's organize our thought regarding what... Okay, so no, you're not required to go to the police station. You have to go back to the hotel to like do the summary of the case thing, but you should go to the police station for a couple of reasons at this point. I'm pretty sure. One of them being something that actually is related to the plot, and another being just like scene that seems quite worth getting. Alright, so even though we're very much on time for lunch, I think we have been for a while. Let's not do that. Let's go down here instead. First, this box keeps respawning. Every single time I feel compelled to do this, even though, okay, I couldn't even remember if there was anything worthwhile that happened, if I actually did that. And now in one of these holding cells we should have somebody, not this guy, I guess that's just one of those nameless characters who I'm pretty sure was here from the beginning of the game, but there's Nick, apparently next to another one of those faceless guys. The door's locked, but we can still talk to him, surely.
Hey, Nick.
Happy that you've got your man?
No. I'm not your man. I'm just a suspect.
Nick.
I didn't do it.
Actually, I believe you. But until we catch the real murderer, you're going to remain a prime suspect.
What's gonna happen to me then? Never mind. I'm more worried about Olivia. How's she doing? Come on, say something.
I can't tell you anything.
If that's the case. Could you hand her a letter? Please? Agent...
You don't mind me inspecting it first?
Oh, that's fine.
Only this once, Nick.
Thank you. Thanks. Tell her I'm sorry, will you?
Nick, you need to do that, not me.
Well, that's a good thing you had that letter just sitting here. Just in hand, ready for you to hand it off to me, but... Again, person has asked you to take a letter to Olivia for him. She's holed herself up at home, so take the letter from Nick. I've been skipping a lot of these descriptions, but probably should have been reading them. Well, I only have so many missions left at this point. And evidence to take it to Becky, carried out the art gallery. The painting, somewhere in the art gallery, she may open up to you. Not really that much is what happened. Over the out of focus picture from the twins. Okay, so some of these descriptions I was like, how are you supposed to find out how to complete some of these? But I guess the descriptions pretty much tells you. Find a flower with no name that only blooms in the rain and take it to George when he's at home after 2100. Emily only ever cooks at home on evenings when it is raining. Find the fermented dairy products that she needs for her next dish and help her out. And then, still don't know how you're supposed to do the third one of these without guessing though. Vegetables that become sweet when heated, or even that one. I don't know about that description. Something chewy and salty, which is what's supposed to be ham. Something soft with 2 colors, which was an egg, which seems like an incomplete description. And yellow sauce, which is hollandaise sauce. Which I guess is the only sauce that would be yellow in that you can get in this game. I don't know. Grab off this unwanted customer. Riddle. I would help him find the answer, the bone, get the bone back from the cattle. The autofocus picture, well, that's part of the same quest that we already saw earlier. You'll never catch up with that with your current fishing rod. Get the rod from Gem, and we already did that. We already did all of those, really. To say spot 8, presumably 15 and 16 are like, I think 2 more that we can do, and one of them I don't believe is, yeah. This one is not available until the very end of the game, pretty much, so. Because of what it entails, but let's not get ahead of ourselves that much. Our time box will burn is open only when the weather is nice. You can't even be trying to keep it tidy in there. Steel Keith's guitar. Well, we got this one, Nick's letter. Probably a couple more that are related to that right under, if I'm correct. The dress, the diary, the engagement ring. Q is probably Quint. The dart gun and defeat the top score, which we did. This is how we get the better weapon bag. Memorabilia. Medical matters quest. Use the car wash a certain number of times. I don't know if you actually get told about this. Like, before you actually do that yourself, though, but. The investigation collector, 8 cards, 16 cards, 32 cards, 48 cards. If you collect 64 cards, so if you get like another 16 cards more than the ones you already have, we'll get a super rare thank you. Ones where you bring the car parts to the general. A little bit car wrecked on the mountain road has been taken to the general scrapyard. Records its repair. Which I guess you can only do a while after you learn that, though. Cold pot stuff from Sigourney. What's the truth behind this pot? Well, York refuses to find out, so oh well. And the 7 bones. Take them back to the graveyard and the ghost house thing, which you get from the infinite flamethrower from the dude's house. There's only so many side quests that we have left to do, and this is one of them. So let us do that right away. She should be like pretty much right across the street. Well, maybe not right across the street, but definitely walking distance. So it should just be a matter of going and popping into the diner and being like, hey, you can have this. Your husband who's in jail, or at least being detained in a holding cell. Thought you should have this. Actually, hold on. It might be worthwhile to get a car together anyway, just to see if York is gonna have any more of those Zach conversations at this time. Let's grab a car for back here. Hopefully that'll be, you know, refilled gas and all that stuff. Not that we need to worry too much about that at this point, but you know. That's just 1 block away the diner, but surely that doesn't mean that I guess I'll drive around the block, speaking of that. See if York wants to talk about anything, or if it's just gonna be like, hey, no, I don't want to talk about anything else right now, Zach. Surely this... Oh, here we go.
There's another really bad one around this time of year.
Actually, never mind.
2 years ago. Remember, Zach?
We've heard this one, but...
Yes, that's right. That one. Multiple homicide?
Yeah, we've heard that one, but it was in a different timeline, so oh well. Guess it didn't count. So we're just gonna go ahead and come here, get out of the car, probably have it teleport to a nearby position where it's somewhat more properly parked anyway.
Zach, is there something here that you want to check out? Well, I'll join you if you like, but I do need to get that report written.
Slightly better
Once you're
aligned.
finished, let's head back to the hotel.
Oh wait, it's not open. Is it not open at this time? Or the store is locked, wait, what? Huh, Hold on a minute. If she's not, well, I guess it wouldn't be open if Nick's not there. Actually, now that I think about it. Oh, where is Olivia then? Hold on. I have to figure this out. Okay, so they're there. Oh, okay. Apparently, she's at their house, which is just across the street over there. I guess we'll go there in that case. And this time we actually will. Take a brisk walk to actually get there. Not even sure why this building here shows up as red in the on the map, considering that you can never actually go inside, I don't think. But maybe it's because you find one of the trading cards there, even though like I said, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the building itself. Well, let's let ourselves in that we've become quite winded with running all the way over here. Or winded. However you're supposed to actually say that. There's Olivia. Here is the onion. I don't think we're going to be grabbing that though. Could try to let ourselves in, but we can't intrude, even though I'm pretty sure that we can actually see what it is like inside these other rooms if you peek in through the windows from outside. It's kind of ironic, but well, let's have a chat. We have something to give you as it happens. We have the Nick piece of paper.
What's this?
Nick asked me to give it to you. It's a letter from him to you.
Nick wrote this? For me? Olivia, I'm sorry for all the trouble I am causing you.
I'm writing this letter because I need to tell you some things. First, I'm sorry about meeting with Diane without telling you. My actions were irresponsible and may have caused you to misunderstand. But I swear to God I was not cheating on you, and I didn't kill Diane. That's what I wanted to tell you. As I sit here in this cell, all I can think about is you. Don't worry about keeping the diner open, okay? Try to eat well, too. I had thought that this happiness we had would just go on forever. I've always been grateful to you, but I've never told you, have I? I used to think that putting it into words made it sound cheap. But at times like these, words are all we need. Thank you for everything. Once I get home, I'll make it up to you. Take care of yourself. I love you. Nick.
Agent, could you wait a moment, please? I want to write a reply.
Sure. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Zach, I hope Nick will feel better by this.
And well, hope Nick will feel better about the fact that we can cross off one of these quests off of the list. Oh, well, I guess we didn't really need to read the description for that one, given that it's a direct continuation of the one we just did. Trust him and I will be waiting for him to come back. Well, I'm glad we gathered that information. We had that interview. So now we actually just go ahead and pop over to the place where Nick is again. I guess there's no reason why we should withhold this from him. We are gonna have to run all the way around just to be able to get around this hedge, though. basement, that's kind of a fusion between the police station basement from Missouri Falls and the one from Resident Evil 2, or at least that's how it comes across to me. And here we are. Did you read the letter? Well, instead of giving you an answer, I'll just give you the Olivia paper. Let you see for yourself.
From Olivia.
From Olivia? What the? I wrote so much. More than I'd ever actually say. A lot more than this. And she writes me only 3 lines back.
Not enough for you?
Oh, no, it's more than enough.
She wrote as much as she could. That's the best she could do right now.
Yeah. 3 powerful lines. I believe in you. I'll wait for you. I'm sorry. I don't agree with the last one, though. I'm the one who has to apologize.
Do you feel a little better now, then? Just wait until the case is finished. I promise this will all come to an end.
Yeah. I know, I believe you. She's believing in me, too, and waiting for me.
Well, I have to be going.
Hold on a minute.
What's this?
The key to the back door of the diner. There's a big bag in the kitchen. I don't know if you could use it, but consider it yours. You'll have to help yourself to it, of course. I can't exactly go with you.
Okay. I'll take this and I'll go check it out. Looks like a return to better things for those two, eh, Zach?
Well, I don't know about that. This guy can ask to, to have his name cleared and get out of here first. And of course all these are separate quests. Bring the letter to person A, bring the letter to person B, and now get your reward. Nothing important is hidden in the diner's kitchen. Go inside after hours. I mean, does it have to be after hours? It's like all hours are after hours now that we've, now that the diner is currently closed. I don't know why. Okay. Letter from Olivia. I don't know why this one is in between these two and it comes after both of these, but okay. Put his mind at ease. Take a letter from Nick. Pick up the thing. And we will pick up the thing after we take another minute to have lunch here and see if we're gonna get another new scene, which hopefully we are. Which seems like a worthwhile thing to check out. Are the people in the conference room, or are they in the office? No, I guess they're in the office now. Let's get lunch as usual. Finally caught the killer. That puts an end to the investigation, doesn't it? Well, no, I don't think it's gonna be that simple, but I'll be lonely here without you after you leave town. But how about lunch to celebrate? Well, we're not celebrating because we're not done yet, but let's have lunch anyway.
Well, he keeps saying that he didn't do it.
I see.
Do you think he... Diane?
The evidence at the scene would suggest so. But this third party who knocked him out makes things more complicated.
Ugh. What's the matter?
What is this? This tastes different.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the mustard and peanut butter mixed up.
Thomas, you having a bad day? That's not like you.
You've been working just as hard as us recently. You must be tired.
Not really. Please, I'll make these over.
What? Why? It doesn't taste bad. In fact, it tastes pretty good to me.
Okay, back to the investigation of just having that little gag as well. I mean, he said he mixed up the mustard and the peanut butter, but which one was the one that was supposed to be used? That's see, that's an interesting way to go about it, because you don't know which one was supposed to be in it, so you don't know which one ended up in there instead by mistake. So you could say that either one was One that was good or bad. I don't know. Well, that we've... Actually, wait a minute. I was gonna say now that we've done all that, let's pop back to the hotel and all that jazz, but to finish a chapter. But we can't do that quite yet because we do need to, actually get this bag first that we've been given. I might as well get in the car here. But I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the same one that's missing like 3% fuel at this point. Yep. Let's just drive around for just a little bit, just as before, so that I can see whether or not there's any more dialogue that we can get. But I get a feeling that just like before, the answer is gonna be not really, or at least not anything that we haven't seen or heard in the other timeline. And then, once we get back to the hotel, we can hopefully get another one of the cars that handle better than these.
Let's focus on the case at hand. The murders with the red seeds.
Yeah, we've heard about this. So no, I get the feeling that there's not going to be any new dialogue in this this chapter, but maybe the next one will have some. Well, let's head back here. I guess the door here is just open. Probably shouldn't try to get in here, but we have the key to get in here. It's locked, but fortunately we aren't gonna let that stop us right now. I guess we're gonna have the camera be behind us in the black void that's inside the building from our perspective. I guess that's something that's a little bit different from, how this game is handled technically from how, say, Miserna Falls was handled, because I'm pretty sure in Miserna Falls it went so far as to actually render like at least part of some of the building interiors. When you're outside of them, a flare. Well, we've had like the limit of flares that we can carry in our on-hand inventory for quite a while, so we'll be leaving that alone. There's the item bag, so that's what we came for, but let's see what else is here. Oh, apparently the answer is nothing. But yeah, Miserna Falls, I'm pretty sure you can see like the interior and the exterior.
Nick was like, if you could use it. But, Zach, this is great. We'll be able to carry more items now, Zach.
Well, there you go. Make sure spelling out what that does. Well, specifically items that are not weapons is what this lets you carry more of, because we already had the other bag that lets you carry more weapons at once. Can we actually go out through the front door, or is that not going to be an option? It's locked, and we don't have a key to the front door, so I guess it's going to stay locked for now. I have to take the bag way out of here. Was it the one to the kitchen, or the one that goes... I guess it was the one that goes to the back of this corridor here. I'm pretty sure part of the reason why Miserna Falls did that, where it just like renders parts of different rooms that are technically not even the room that you were loaded into at that time, is because I guess it helped better keep track of like where all the characters were at any given time or something like that. They just let you have that kind of movement render a little bit less awkwardly on the grand scheme of things, but probably wasn't terribly efficient from a technical perspective, but oh well. Very much talking about something that, look at all the cars we have. Something that we've already experienced in the past, so it's just something that is worth thinking about still, but it's very much just a retrospective rumination, if you will. So let's do another end of chapter quiz like in Hotel Dusk. Or end of episode, I guess. Even though this is technically only the end of the second episode and we've already done 2 of these before.
From what Olivia told us, and the sketchbook we found at Becky's house, Nick and Diane became our primary suspects. There were a couple of reasons for this. First, Becky gave the missing locket to Diane. Also, Nick has no alibi for when Anna and Becky were killed. We followed Nick to the art gallery, which led us, unfortunately, to our third victim. The third victim, Diane, was strung up in the entrance hall of the art gallery. Her hands were tied and a knife was sticking out of her chest. However, there was a marked difference from the previous crimes. Do you remember what that was, Zach?
Well, I don't know, York. What are our choices here? Multiple bodies? No, another weapon? No, it was right after the crime. I guess it was right after the crime? Is it really it? I mean, the murder weapon was the giant statue.
Diane was still alive. This suggests that very little time had passed since the crime was committed.
I mean, so was Becky. She was still alive.
The criminal was still close by. It was someone near the scene.
Becky was also left in a trap like Diane.
Nick, who was knocked out in the entrance, and one other. Zach, who was the other person in the gallery?
Nick was knocked out while Kaysen was locked in deeper into the gallery, and neither Harry or Quint were there, so we know it has to be him.
That's right. Kaysen. We followed Willie, good dog, all the way to him. Kaysen's statement came out as follows. He and Diane were in a physical relationship. That was why he visited the gallery. The two were in the middle of such a meeting when Nick showed up. Diane lost her cool and shut Kaysen up in the basement. Now, what did Kaysen hear when he was locked up?
He heard the sound of boots. Footsteps of boots, yeah, not a gunshot, not a dog barking. I mean, he had the dog with him until he let him out.
That's it. The sound of boots passing by. Nick was wearing boots that day. Which means it was likely that Diane met with Nick in her room. Nick said he argued verbally with Diane about her playing around with men, but they eventually decided to go out drinking to make up. However, immediately after that, Nick was attacked by someone in the entrance hall and knocked unconscious. We saw the rest.
And apparently his face got burned.
Zach, do you think that Nick is our serial killer?
Are we supposed to answer? Yes, no, I don't know. I mean, there's an interesting selection of photographs for facial expressions for each of these. We know exactly where this, what scene this face comes from. I'm not so sure about the others, though. It's a big no, though. Yeah, very much not convinced.
Usha sent in a report, too. He found a large volume of red seeds in Diane's stomach. This confirms her as a victim of the Raincoat Killer. Remaining leads. There's the locket, which is in Carol's possession, the man with the tattooed back, and the upside-down peace sign. There's a lot left to answer. I hope the coffee will give us more guidance tomorrow.
Well, when does it ever not do that, though? Oh man, York, what are you doing?
What did you think about George pouring his heart out?
You're not sleeping under your covers today.
It's the end of a monarchy. And he called me York instead of Agent Morgan.
Oh boy, who could it be at this time of night? Question mark.
Emily?
Oh boy.
What's going on? Do you know what time it is?
I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep, so I was drinking alone.
My mother was a very kind woman. She always smiled so brightly, and baked cakes and cookies every day. She'd say that I needed the sugar because I spent so much time thinking. My father was always quiet. We never talked much. He was a federal agent, just like me. And he was hardly ever at home. The only words he ever had for me were harsh ones. I had a vivid imagination, and I remember he once said this to me. There are plenty of crazy things in this world, You don't have to go dreaming them up. And it's my job to make sense out of them. One day you'll understand what I'm saying. I found out later that my father was one of the first to ever use criminal profiling to catch bad guys. And so now I'm doing exactly the same job that he did. Like father, like son.
Can I ask you something?
Shoot.
Mind if it's something personal?
Fire away.
Who's Zach?
Zach is a friend of mine.
Oh, so you do have friends.
Yeah. He's my only friend.
What kind of person is he then?
Well, I've never seen his face. But he's always with me, and we discuss everything.
When did you become friends?
A long time ago. Back when I was a child. I was 7. I woke up one morning to hear my mother crying in the living room. This wasn't normal, so I headed in to see her. My father was there pointing a gun at my mother. I was so scared. I closed my eyes, so I don't remember much more. But I do remember the words my father said to me. At times we must purge things from this world because they should not exist, even if it means losing someone that you love. When I came back to my senses, they were both dead. He shot my mother and then killed himself.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. Zach's with me. It was around that time that we became friends. I'm here. I'm with you, he said. I'll be here always. We can get through this together. Quite aside from that terrible scene in front of me, that voice seemed to make me calmer. And here we are, working together, getting through things. This is the first time I've ever told anyone about this. I wonder if Zach will get angry.
That's a sad story. But I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I'm sure there was a reason for what your father did.
I know. I think maybe I became an agent to find out why he did what he did.
Oh yeah, York, I forgot to thank you.
Thank me? For what?
You saved my life. If you didn't save me at the gallery, I would have died along with Diane.
No need to thank me for that. I'm pretty useless. I couldn't save Becky. I couldn't save Diane.
What did you just say? Useless? I was never expecting to hear you say that. Huh. There might be a modest guy in you after all.
Finally, you noticed? You're a little slow, aren't you?
Maybe hopeless, but not useless.
Well, wasn't that nice and wholesome? I guess she left again.
Do you think Emily got home safely? Anyway, I think it's more serious of a situation than I thought. Do you remember our conversation with Emily? She's really interested in you. I think she's starting to have certain feelings for you. If that's the case, Zach, you and I are rivals. This is a very serious situation indeed. Well, if it comes to that, let it be a fair fight. Agreed?
Well, I could just help, or Zack rather, could just help Polly that you're...
Let me out of here! Come on, please!
You're sleeping on the bed with your shoes on top of the sheets.
Just for a moment. 1 second. Hate it in here, Thomas. I think I'm going mad. I know you're there! Come on, please! Thomas! 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 Thomas!
Well, we had that whole scene with Nick and we wanted to believe that he wasn't the killer, but I was apparently going nuts down there. Oh goodness. There goes Carl crying on someone else's shoulder with some interesting looking things in the background of this room, including the locket that... I guess has to be the one that she took back from Diane that was kind of passed around. I think it was like... It was taken from Becky to Diane by way of the twins, and then Carol took it from Diane, and now it's in that very interesting looking room that she's in with someone else. But hey, we got some more money. Episode 2, part 2 cleared, so yeah, that was like the other reason why there's another quiz halfway through. It's episode 2, part 1, and there's like a quiz at the end of that. How do we get an updated Zack view?
Previously during the investigation.
So, you want to find out everything there is to know about Diane?
Agent York, Nick is leaving the bar.
Wait! She's still alive.
Stop right there, Nick. You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Diane Ames. Emily, hurry!
You saved my life.
No need to thank me for that. I'm pretty useless. I couldn't save Becky. I couldn't save Diane.
Also wasn't actually wearing that outfit during that scene, but let's not dwell on that. Let us dwell on how obnoxious that sound is from outside, though. I think I hear, like, a heavy rain sound again. But anyway, we're here in the flight room. Hold on a moment. Door wasn't locked. I hope I didn't just mess up. Hold on a moment. Okay, never mind. Because there's a note that I have from one of the chapters that are left where it's like, hey, you should turn around immediately and you'll find a card right there as soon as you start playing that chapter, but I guess that was not it. I don't know, do we go here? How do we go about navigating this maze of doors? I wonder. Go there, or we could go here. Oh, there's someone. Hey, do you know how to get out of the Lost Woods? Who the hell is this person? I don't know. It doesn't look familiar.
Open this door. There is no turning back. You still want to enter?
Well, sir, with implants in his neck, apparently, yes, I'm going alone.
I do. It's better than staying here.
Very well then. Off you go, Mr.
Actually, I think I might have messed up. I think there's something that we may have been required to find in here before we left, but oh well, just take care of that. If I make it to the end, oh boy.
You must purge things from this world because they should not exist, even if it means losing someone that you love.
Yes, don't you dare avert your gaze for even 1 second, boy. Watch that very, kind of differently rendered spook face that she has. Well, we're not gonna stick around on that scene to see why the broken picture on the tree are so spooky, but or to let that music keep playing for any longer, but we are gonna wake up from that very bizarre dream.
Mr. Morgan, do you want a refill?
Yes, thank you.
Is the coffee that good, Mr. Morgan?
Coffee is a vital, investigative tool. I know exactly what to do now.
Harrier sale. All of our inventory, renovations, red tags, yellow tags are 60% off. We're only going to be focusing on that one thing though, not the fact that the letters Harry are circled.
It says to hurry. And the first letter of each line is H-A-R-R-Y. Hurry to Harry. Looks like the time that he was talking about has come. Let's go pay the problematic rich boy who owns half of the town a visit. Polly, I think I'm going to go see Harry today.
Oh, really? He's a little strange, but I think he's the most trustworthy one around here. I think you'll have fun with him.
If you say so, Polly, then we probably will.
Of course. Now, give me your cup, and I'll give you some more coffee.
I'll see you later, Polly.
Mr. Morgan, what about the coffee? Don't you want a refill? Your coffee!
Well, apparently, for as much faith as he has in coffee, he's apparently had enough for now. So yeah, I think I did mess up a little bit, I guess. I would have been sure how I could have gotten that card from within that dream sequence, but I guess we're gonna have to do a quick replay of that later. Right now, well, what does Polly have to say? What can I do for you, Will? What's on your mind? Are you going out? I thought your work here was over. I'm sad to say, Polly, that it isn't, not just yet. How about a little sightseeing? See what things to do. Well, told to be going on dates. What would my husband say? Well, I'll go alone then. We'll figure something out. Why not invite a girl your own age? Well, what about Emily, perhaps? Well, she apparently invited herself to come here in the middle of the night wearing a dress and just have a chat about personal matters. I wonder if anyone else was aware that that was going on. Well, now that we've done that, I guess we'll head out of here. Guess we're off to see Harry. I wonder if we're just gonna be going it alone, like we said, or if there's gonna be a surprise out here, as there sometimes is. I don't really know.
York, I can't find Thomas. Was he here?
No, I haven't seen him. Have you tried the radio?
I've been trying, but he's not answering.
What about Nick?
No problem with him. He's calmed down a little. He's still saying he didn't do it. Nick said that Thomas disappeared sometime during the night. He kept calling for him, but Thomas stopped responding. I'm a bit worried. George has asked for permission to search for Thomas.
I understand that things have been hard for Thomas, but surely he's just resting at home. But I'm not against looking for him. Tell George that he has my blessing.
Okay. As far as I know, Thomas always calls in when he needs a day off.
We're human, and so we are limited. As far as you know, there haven't been any serial killings here before, right?
That's right, but that's not...
Emily, I'm going to see Harry today.
What? Why? We have plenty of other leads to follow, don't we?
He did invite me over, though. It would be bad manners not to accept.
Are you really an FBI agent? I think the FBI would take a more logical approach to investigations.
But Emily, a serial killer does not stay within the boundaries of logic. Thus, you can't hope to capture such a killer using only logic. That's why I'm going to see Harry. You go with George and find Thomas.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Great. Thanks.
Well, I guess we're not going to be hanging out together today then.
Idiot for thinking he might be a good pick. I really need to work on my taste in men.
Also need to work on my eye ticks from one side of my face there, apparently. I don't know, I mean, I think that this one conversation was enough to completely undermine everything else that he may have done that was worth remarking on. Probably says a little bit more about you than him, but... Now let's see, we have so many options, but I guess we're just going to go with the one that's clearly the most well outfitted one. It even has all of its gas back, how do you know? And we could just warp to the next place, but, you know, I'm going to assume that we have a few more things to talk about on the road here. We're gonna head over to the milk barn anyway. There should be a new thing for us to do with one of the things that we have to nap from there, shall we say. I think I remember the basic road to get there. Might take a little bit less time to get there now that we have a much better car though.
Zach, we've ended up with a third victim. That dive I made at the gallery ended up being a wasted attempt to save a life. It's a real mess. Dive. When's the last time I made a dive like that? Oh, I remember. Do you? It was in my late teens. We used to go to those concerts. You and I liked punk rock, but we liked different types of punk. You liked hard and heavy punk, like Crash and Sham 69. I liked the more twisted ones, like the Damned, Buzzcocks, Iggy Pop, and Joy Division. We used to talk for hours about the bands we really liked, but for some reason, neither of us listened to the Sex Pistols. I wonder why that was. Seems strange thinking about it now.
Tom Bigger. Also, I must assume that all of those are things that exist that you just mentioned, even though I only recognize a couple of them. Yeah, I guess it's still, even after you get the radio to teleport back and forth, it's still worth driving around so you can get more dialogue like that. Sigourney's over there, but we don't really have any reason to want to mess with Harry further, I don't think. Maybe we will. I think you can happen to see her again, but surely we're not going to get another talk prompt before we get out of the car here, because we made it to our destination. For now, at least. I guess we're gonna pop over into the milk barn. Yes, I did, York. We've been over this. And also, George is here. What you doing here? Aren't you gonna go searching for Thomas or what have you? Thomas hasn't come here nor to Jim's place either, I guess that's what we're doing. He mentioned he didn't know how to handle Becky and Diane's deaths. They died right in front of his eyes. Even I thought I was gonna lose my mind after Diane's death. Well, there you go. At least we get an update on the situation. I've been sheriff here for a long time, but I've never seen a case like this. So I guess, yeah. Reason Thomas did end up... Can we not save? Oh, God. Reason... I guess Nick was yelling like crazy in the jail the previous night was because Thomas straight up disappeared and wasn't able to come say anything to him. Let's go talk to Keith. He should have something more that we want right now.
Yo, dude.
We're still not activating that new quest that he's had for a while though. We got Spiritual Map, the special Spiritual Map of Greenvale. This is one of the more expensive things we got so far at 31.50, but fortunately we can afford it, so...
Hey man, this map shows a station along the abandoned extended lines track. Now that was a busy place back when the lumber trade was big. No one goes near it now, you know. It's like a train graveyard. On top of that, some folks say they've even seen ghosts there. I don't mean one or two ghosts, man. I mean like hundreds.
Oh, it's spooky story time again.
Then, a golden opportunity comes along. Like a chance to leave home for a while and earn a lot of money. There were plenty of them at the end of the 80s. The lumber mill was severely short-handed, so they called in a lot of outside workers. But the place was failing, and indeed it died before most of the poor guys got there. So there was like a load of labor workers that had nowhere to go. No place to work, no way to get back to where they came from. A fair amount of them decided to live on the train they had rode in on. I guess that must have been hard living on a train car that ain't moving.
What kept them in town?
Ah, now, the head of the lumber mill had been lying to them. Wait just a little longer, we'll have work for you soon, you know, that kind of thing. He was just a lying scumbag. No way to rock, man. But lies, they only last so long. With each day that passed, those unemployed guys got more angry. But then, something happened. And the timing for it was incredible. The rail car they were spending the night in just happened to catch fire, with all them inside it.
Incredible timing indeed.
Oh yeah, but the police couldn't find any evidence to pin it on anyone. They didn't have all those gadgets and stuff you guys got now. And the police were annoyed the unemployed guys were causing trouble. Nothing happened to the head of the lumber mill. It made the news as an accident. But the rumor says that a large number of those boys are still living in that train car, unaware that they're dead. You better be careful, Mr. FBI, if you go down there by yourself.
Very, very funny. Very amusing. Well, let's see what the description is like after that spooky story we heard from maybe the first time. Cope's tunnel marked on a suspicious map. And now the scene of a railway accident is marked on a suspicious map purchased from Keith Milkborn. And there may be some more fellows, just like last time, waiting for us there in the other world. Do we have anything else new to buy from him? I don't even know. We can buy root beer now. Coffee milk, that's whatever. I think the selection that we get here is something that does, in fact, expand a good bit throughout the game. And if Lily's here, actually, we might be able to like purchase something from her that we haven't seen before either. Let me see. I'm sure Keith may have told you that Nick isn't a violent guy. I'm not judging a book by its cover. I've read the book and I know. You're thinking the killer is someone else too, aren't you? For instance, that guy who's missing. Thomas. I don't mean to, but the timing that he chose to disappear, so... Is this what you think? Nick would never be capable of such horrible things, but Thomas would be capable. I don't know. I don't know if we know Thomas well enough to really make that call in any capacity, but let's forget what I said about Thomas. Let's get carried away. Well, now that we've had that little interview, how about we... Oh goodness. How about we get the cherry blossom suit that apparently increases your sex appeal? Or why not? Just so we can have that in the repertoire. Don't know if we'll be wearing that anytime soon, but There's like a random guitar prop above the produce. Maybe. I mean, the owner of this place does like to rock a lot. Here in the milk barn, as we've heard when talking to him. But we also have the posters above the produce, how to raise vegetables to be able to easily make. And also, if it is an idea of cooking, cultivation of vegetables, recommended cooking, ingredients, appetite, and health. Okay, anything. I agree. We got so much cool drink, we got so much sparkling drink. We got the rock and roll night with, you know, the posters with his face on them. The cocoa gum, the, does that say hefty vitamins, healthy vitamins? Oh, please. Healthy vitamins, characteristic bubble rice. It is very characteristic, and we got the prop on both sides of the store as well. You know, don't let this guy know that we actually took his guitar quite a long while ago. But we won't be bringing that up to him for quite a long while from now. It's a music themed convenience store. Well, I guess the guy made it music themed. I don't know if you would necessarily assume it's music themed from the name Milk Barn, but there you go. And there's George's car, but not the version that we can drive around. So we've got a new place to go, another one of these orange markers on the map. And I believe that's close to Thomas's house, you know, speaking of that, guys. So, and if I'm not very much mistaken, it should just be a matter of like driving down this road for a minute or two together. So let's see if we can get another dialogue thing while we do that. But yeah, the wife ended up giving away this guitar to us quite a while back that we use as a melee weapon. That's apparently the most powerful melee weapon in the game, pretty much.
You know what? There was one band that we both liked. We went all the way to New York to see them play, right, Zach? It took us hours to get to New York by bus. We got to the CBGB and we were so nervous we couldn't go inside. It took us 30 minutes to gather enough courage to go inside. And inside, we were shocked. Right, Zach? I'll never forget that feeling. It was like a blitzkrieg. Blitzkrieg pop. The Ramones. That song still makes me feel good. That's a sign of a classic. But it's amazing I got in without being asked for ID. Those were the good old days. Rock and roll high school and Chinese rock. Sheena is a punk rocker and surfing bird. And I was so depressed when I heard the news of the deaths. Original punk is one of the greatest gifts left from the 20th century. Let's hope they're still rocking on wherever they are.
Well, there you go. I don't know if I even have any stories that I could tell that are even remotely similar to that. Other than just very much by proxy the one time that I found out that apparently one of the last The Ball concerts I was actually given by Pink Floyd apparently happened here where I live, but I didn't even hear about it until it was pretty much like the time when it was actually happening. Apparently some of the dudes that I went to middle school with at the time, one of them was like acting half stocky and tried to like go up to Roger Waters' hotel room or something, but well, here's this place. We can, if we like hold down the row button and then gently tilt the left stick, we can run slowly like this. But now let's actually get in here and do the thing. In this haunted train yard. That's a famous paranormal place they talked about. Maybe I should give it a shot. Well, I will give this a shot. It should be a little bit different from the first one of these we did, even though that one did give us one of the strongest weapons in the game, which is the same weapon that we are using now. To clear this one out. Because we got armed shadows, and not only armed shadows, but specifically to the armed shadows that are also based on the nurses and the ones from the hospital, which have like somewhat more obnoxious grab attacks and all that. What else is here? There are also these barrels, and I keep on noticing these barrels until it's too late to like actually make good use of them. Add another stabilizer. I honestly don't even know if I can make good use of a stabilizer at any point in the game. That isn't the darts minigame. Oh boy, and then there's this, which I'm pretty sure these guys, yeah, they get caught on fire and then that slowly kills them. But it's also possible they just kind of phase through the fire in their little blink warps that they do when they're chasing after you. First aid kit small. Oh, we don't really have any need for that now. Okay, how are you still alive over there? Not anymore, I suppose. But I keep hearing these noises of them grunting underground, perhaps. I thought, yeah, there we go. Surely I can blow up these barrels, but are they just for show? But no, they're not. Yeah, well, I guess those grunting noises are exactly what I just said about the barrels a moment ago. They're in fact just for show, because I don't see any more of them coming out now. There's a pickaxe that we don't really need. So I'm going to assume that now we can go through the door again and go to the next phase of this. Well, you know, it's better to just act quickly when these guys actually have weapons. Otherwise they may actually figure out that they can use them. And if I am not mistaken, there should be at least one point during this stage where you can find not only these ordinary on-foot shadows, but also the other type of shadow that we've been meeting. Oh, a turkey sandwich. I'll be grabbing that, thank you. That we met in the last plot-mandated Otherworld stage that we did. I don't really know how that's gonna work though, with these like wide open rooms. Unless we get taken to, oh, here we go, to a different type of room. That's much more suited to the environments that we're used to seeing these things in. It's the spooky, crawling shadows. You can... Oh, okay, never mind. This one doesn't want to die in one shot from the Magnum, but rather two shots. Well, it's still better than the alternative of like trying to shoot them many, many times with the well, pretty much any other weapon, such as the machine gun. And here's the sword. I guess we can pop that over to the toolbox. So we can say that we have a sword in the toolbox, but I don't think that's quite what we came here for, if you will. Shotgun shells, what do we have over here? Oh shit, got a little vestige of that explosion effect, which we hadn't quite run into before, but on that occasion it actually came out. Shotgun shells, are you not dead yet? I guess she wasn't. Oh, now we do kill. That's what we do. I guess we're gonna send this root beer to the toolbox. We can use more root beer, I would say, but maybe I don't mean that at all, given that we've don't think we've used any of those items actually in quite a while, have we? The items that are for replenishing... Oh shit. Replenishing tiredness. Hello, oh hey Choco Cookie, how's it going? Should have gone. Oh no, wait a minute. Let's go somewhere else. Let's stay together. I think I almost messed up and exited in the middle of this because I forgot what I was doing. I'm going to assume that if these guys keep popping up here, that means we're not done with this room yet. And I guess that's correct. Oh, what do we got? Did something show up over here? Sure did. 357 Magnum bullets, even though we literally already have the infinite version of this weapon already. But let's grab them anyway for good measure. I'm pretty sure that we can go a little farther. There should be something else we can get from here. Let me confirm what we're looking for actually real quick. We're looking for another infinite weapon. Let's see if I can... If I can count on all these fellows that are going to spawn in the middle here to catch fire. Apparently the answer is no. This guy, or whatever that is, did not catch fire. The others then are going to catch fire and off themselves that way in due time. All the bullets. This one didn't drop anything. Oh, all of them are coming out. They sure are. I guess I can lure them towards these barrels and, yeah. Hey, fellow, I'm here. Okay, that guy just killed himself. This guy's apparently not gonna move, though, so I'll just... Oh, now he's gonna move? Okay, there. Oh, shit. Oh, Jesus. Okay, he just, like, inched forward, caught fire, and then very quickly scuttled over to where I was and gave me a little bit of contact damage with the fire. Should probably be killing these guys a little bit faster right away so that the next ones will also spawn faster, of which I'm going to assume there are more of them. I mean, maybe not. I still hear their spooky laughter, but I don't see them actually emerging. Anything in here that I should be mindful of? I guess chocolate, not be sending that to a toolbox. Mirror chocolate, if it's the same type of chocolate that we saw in the store a while ago. Oh, never mind, here come more of them. So I can't blow them up anymore because the barrels are gone, but they can off themselves. I guess we'll assist them. No, that one needed to be assisted because she didn't run into the flames. Well, I'm not quite sure what that noise was. I just thought I heard something else up here, and like a reloading noise, but maybe I was imagining it. I guess I'm gonna try to leave and see if it'll let me get to another room. And I suppose it will. Oh boy. I guess what I can try to do is fight them with the guitar. Like, somewhat recommended. Oh shit. But we didn't manage to do the first part of it properly. There we go. In order to fight them with the guitar, we actually are supposed to, you know, dodge that thing. That little frisky move. Oh goodness. And then, if it'll actually let me. Okay, no, it's a little bit too iffy to fight them with the guitar, I think. I mean, I've tried with this one, so I feel determined to try a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. One of the guys I saw for this, like, swears by the guitar as a very strong weapon, and it is, but I think the extremely flimsy hitbox that it actually has kind of negates that in the grand scheme of things. I think you know where I am. Just need you to, become tangible for a moment so I can shoot you in the head. That's how this works. Thank you for your cooperation. Hey, bait legend worm. I guess I'll go ahead and grab that. I think the last of these rooms that we're supposed to make it to. Oh boy. If there's anything like the last challenge, I think the last of these rooms that we may be supposed to make it to would be one that doesn't actually have any enemies in it, but just the thing that's like the reward that you get for making it to the end of this. So I guess we're just gonna have to keep moving through these rooms until we find something like that. I mean, we've done quite a few of them so far, so I can't imagine there's that many left. Not so long as there are. I suppose we must keep on pressing forward. I see that the pickaxe is still gonna be standing even after we blow up that barrel that it was propped on. Yeah, I couldn't help but notice these black splotches on the ground here. Yeah, I thought that maybe there was something else left here that still needed to be taken care of. Oh, what do we got here? 357 Magnum bullets. Yeah, it's the same kind of deal. I'll pick them up just for the sake of having them, I guess, but we don't actually need them since we already have the infinite version of that gun. Anything else that has spawned or can spawn? Not as far as I can see, so let's see what happens if we go here instead. Okay, this time the blue circle is in the middle, so assuming that now we made it to the end. Where we can find a shotgun with a sawed-off short barrel, which we already have technically, but this is the infinite version, so there you go. We found yet another infinite weapon from these spooky challenges. And I think you just heard a sound of like our hunger and sleep meters being refilled. So now that we've done that, I think there isn't really anything more yeah, okay. Anything more for us to kill time with until a few chapters from now, to distract us from like the main story stuff, I mean. So I guess let's do that at least, see if we can complete one more chapter. This one that we are on here. Actually, before we do that, we might as well make it back to the police station so we can have lunch. No reason not to. Oh fuck, jeez. The handling is interesting when you go off-road with this car.
So, Zach, about Emily. My first impression when we met her on that bridge is slightly different from what I think about her now. Don't you think she's pretty mesmerizing? And Zach, she seemed interested in you. Did you make a move on her? No, don't answer. I'm just asking. But if you like her, I won't stand in your way. But I'd like to hear the truth. Because this kind of stuff could affect our friendship, you know. Me? I'm just interested in her, that's all. He doesn't love or anything. From what I can tell, she doesn't even seem to like me. It's pretty clear from how she acts when she's around me.
As you know, Zach, I'm cautious with women. It's because I was badly burned in my last relationship.
I really have no idea what women are thinking. That's my problem.
You're pretty friendly with the ladies, aren't you, Zach?
Maybe you should teach me about how to interact with women.
Okay, I guess that's gonna be the ending of that conversation. I was wondering when that would come. But yeah, more Zack lore that I guess we aren't necessarily gonna get a complete explanation for, but when can we ever say that about anything when it comes to stuff that's mentioned in this game? I wonder. Well, like I mentioned though, let's pop over to the inside of the police station now that we're here and have lunch, and presumably we're gonna get another cutscene that we haven't seen before. We're gonna have to find, actually, can we have lunch? Because Thomas is missing right now, but I mean, I'm getting the lunch markers, so maybe we're gonna get sort of modified lunch meeting. Do we get it with Emily? Oh goodness, this should be interesting. We're really gonna see Harry? Well, yeah, no idea what you're thinking at a time like this, but you know, Thomas is still missing. What should we do for lunch? Well, I don't know. If we really want to tempt fate, I mean, we did help out Emily with some cooking before, but I get the feeling that won't make a difference here. Okay, I'll try. This can only go well.
I thought about ordering in, but since we had leftovers, I made us lunch. What's with the face? I think my cooking turned out pretty good today.
Oh, okay, great. A sudden crisis. What should I do, Zach?
I might not be a wonder chef like Thomas, but I do practice every day. Well, come on, tell it to me straight.
Emily?
Yes? What?
I went into the sewer once during an investigation.
Okay, just stop right there.
Okay. I'm drowsy. Was it something I ate? Oh goodness. I think I actually have ended up getting a penalty to our hunger as a result of that. Oops. Yeah, maybe the same kind of effect that we get if we eat like the bagel sandwich that's in Emily's house. Just a bit of an unfortunate consequence, shall we say. Actually, I should probably go back into the police station a little bit so I can put the bait worm into... Actually, does it matter? Maybe it doesn't matter. We did get that bait worm, but we do have like a very... I'm gonna do it anyway, just so I can at least look at something. I think only when we're interacting with the toolbox, we need to put away the shotgun. That's not the infinite shotgun as well, so... And possibly change our clothes. It's looking a bit dirty. I should probably do that. Let's put on this swanky new pink suit that we've acquired. Why not? And let's go and clean this suit. Or, yep, $8. So it's high time that we had a change of clothes anyway. So let's see if we put an item away. That should let us see. We can carry up to 44. We have up to 44 unique item slots now. But we're gonna put away the CQB and probably the wrench as well. We don't really need this. The CQB, that's not the infinite version. So this one. Everything else, I guess we're gonna keep on carrying with us though. We have 3 free weapon slots and 44. I don't think we need to get rid of anything really, but because we're gonna keep this with us after all, and the cookies and any other things. I guess we can take out the root beer as well. I don't know, we have like other food items that we've been holding on to that are actually effective, so not cookies or lollipops. Stuff like, well, pickles. We have an infinite source of cans of pickles, so not much of a point to. Not much of a point to carrying those around, but it's at least a good thing to acknowledge that you have them around. But yeah, sure, even though I don't think we will need that either. We do have a turkey sandwich in case we have an emergency and have to eat something after that disastrous lunch, but let's save. Let's get out of here, and I think, well, we're heading over to Harry's mansion, but we already know that the road to Harry's mansion is long, and if we warp over there, it won't actually take us to the front gate, it'll take us to the gate that's like connected to the highway, and we still have quite a bit of driving to do from there, so it's not like we're gonna miss anything. Anything that we would have gotten by driving more otherwise, anyway. Well, here we are.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, finally you have arrived. You are welcome to come inside.
Well, I mean, this wouldn't even be the first time that we've... Oh wait, never mind. We are being teleported to the inside. Never mind. That's convenient, at least. Well, let's get right to it. See what we're gonna find in here, as we're apparently logged in.
Mr. Francis York Morgan.
With Michael.
Mr. Stewart has been waiting for you. To the meeting room you shall go to.
Shall watch as I stand perfectly still and rotate along with this.
Is through here. Please be kind. Be sincere.
Sure thing. As you can see, I dressed for the occasion.
Yes?
The timing is now to meet Mr. Stewart. You shall be kind and be alert. That doesn't rhyme. The timing is now and not tomorrow. If you miss it, you'll feel sorrow. So until your meeting is finished, I shall be locking the front door. If you get tired or become famished, what we have, please use as yours. Alright, you also have infinite food here that we can use. One day in piano, we apparently just learned that that's not the case. So, have we come... Yeah, we've come out into a different place than the one you can usually reach by going through the front door of the mansion. Symphony number 3, Eroica. Number 5, Fate. Number 6, Pastoral. Of the multitude of musical scores, these 3 are the only ones left open. If Harry did this, it must have a meaning, so we got... It's only the same thing, 3, 5, 6. Eroica, Fate, Pastoral. And nothing else on the other side. Plenty of phones to save up though, but we'll take it easy on that front for now. You also have like all the amenities we could possibly need here. Let me take a look at my hunger. We're in good state, I don't know. I feel like I'm being paranoid that, you know, Emily's cooking will eventually just make that be quite worse for wear. We get umbrella for guest room number 1. Inscribe with the one, same as the room number. Okay, let me guess. We need 3. What was it? 359. Might as well verify this again. 356. Surely it's just gonna be a matter of getting the stuff from those rooms. And what do we have here? Drawing room, the door's locked, but there's no keyhole. Could there be another way to open it? Now that's room number 1. Presumably this is number 3. What about this one here? Door wasn't locked. The one on the right goes through the middle and has some stuff. A statue of cavalry apparently. Looks like it was meant to hold something. A Springfield rifle perhaps. Also apparently Harry's behind here. Getting that a little spoiled. This looks like a little like something you would see in like another Silent Hill game, a Clock Tower game. On the PS1 specifically. It's like an indoor garden area in the middle of other areas. We're looking for 356, I suppose, so here. 3... Either like or dislike this number. Well, we'll grab umbrella number 3. I guess continue to go in this direction, presuming that this is gonna be continuing the pattern. Would this be number 4 and not number 6? No, this is number 6, okay. Could it be an upside down 9 by any chance? Well, that all depends on how you look at it. doesn't it? And Michael did say, you know, use our facilities as yours if you become tired or famished, but I don't think I've seen any food here. We have the umbrellas we need, I think. Did not examine this umbrella, even though I probably should have. We can examine the one in this room to make up for that. Same as the room number. 4 seasons, 4-wheel drive, 4 horsemen. Let's get in here, or try to, and realize that it is futile. Let's go to a place that will ostensibly allow us to get in here eventually. We got 3. And we need to go through this little cutscene where apparently the statues, as begin to glow green, is to confirm that we've made the right choice. 3, 5, and 6. And what do you know? Well, I mean, for all we know, with having a mansion with this kind of design, maybe Harry could have contracted it out to the same dude who, like, built all the mansions in Resident Evil. But what do you know, here is Harry himself. Already prepared to meet us.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, please have some tea while it is hot. Too much coffee for your body will make it rot.
You seem well prepared. Almost as though you knew I would be coming today.
Mr. Stewart is particular about the best timing for all things. Now please, drink some tea and enjoy the good health it brings.
I'm sorry, Harry, but I just don't like tea.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, some tea with sugar is what's best admired by your body that looks so tired. So says Mr. Stewart.
Harry, where did you get these seeds?
Intense music. But we do know quite a bit about the seeds that does make this quite interesting.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, those seeds were found in our town in a certain specific place. More seeds are there, you will see, when you find that certain space. Come back to me and we shall talk after you find that certain place. So says Mr. Stewart.
Harry, so you like to play games?
Mr. Francis York Morgan, a hint for you to find this location. It is most crowded and most quiet, and gives a cold sensation. So says Mr. Stewart.
All right. So you're not going to talk unless I find this certain place. I'll play along.
Apparently that's gonna be the end of the chapter, what do you know? Well, we already know exactly where that place is, but we've been there before. Got another return on investment on the stuff we've been doing. Yeah, we'll go ahead and Save at the end of chapter 14, tea break. And see what happens at the beginning of this next chapter. But I think that's where we'll be.
Zach, let the treasure hunt begin.
Leaving it off for now, maybe?
A crowded place, and yet it is very quiet there. Have you figured it out, Zach?
I mean, it's the same place where...
The graveyard.
Well, yeah, no shit, York. Way to spell it out.
But none of them can speak. You see? So let's get going to the graveyard.
Well, yes, he has to do that, otherwise you won't have a story marker that needs to be mandated for the place you need to go to at the beginning of each chapter. But yeah, rather than going there right now, I think we're gonna try one more thing before we just call it for now. We're gonna go back to the title screen. We're going to load back into... I guess we can probably switch off the well, the catgirl thing that Emily has now, at least. I still want to know what car is actually affected by this this chibi bang bang skin, because I don't know, I want to inspect it more closely. Maybe change this suit as well later, but I mean, we won't be doing much with that right now anyway, so I think what we'll probably just end up doing is load back into chapter 14, I guess. Yeah. Because you can only have the... No, you can't. You can in fact have more than 3 chapters per episode, but episode 2, part 1 and 2 only have 3 chapters each, but we'll load back into chapter 14, which is the one that we just completed, because I want to have another look at the very beginning of this this chapter. Yeah, when we're here in the spooky White Forest world, where we're in Boggle Woods from Fasten Your Door. So apparently there may have been something that I missed in here. I'm not quite sure how I could have gotten to it. Also based on a few things that we may have noticed by the close-up to Harry during that cutscene that we had at the end of this chapter. I believe that the dude that we meet in here is actually Harry, but... Oh, here we go. Yes, we are going to open it. Maybe we did run into this, but I just didn't notice it because I was just rushing through the rooms. And yeah, here's the Angel Isaiah trading card. I could potentially just rush through the rest of the chapter. I guess there's just one more thing that I'm probably gonna try to do. So I can, you know, I don't have to do this later. Yeah, this may be Harry without his mask. So we believe, but we're gonna be skipping these cutscenes anyway. Yes, I'm going alone. Better than staying here. Let's get out of here. Let's skip the cutscenes that we've already seen, and I guess this one. Okay, no, it can't be skipped. This one as well. But apparently, this counter is separate from the very end of it. Head outside after our breakfast. I guess we can get a little bit of extra money by checking the weather and all that stuff. I'm talking to Polly again, even though there's really only one reason to do that, and that's to get a little bit of extra money. Given that we've already had this conversation before. And speaking of Emily, she's gotta be out here, but probably still in the catgirl suit, considering that we haven't changed that yet.
I wasn't...
And well, I guess we're gonna try to go all the way to the place. I guess we don't need to pick York's car. Or what I have in mind anyway. We're just gonna warp straight over to the police station. Which, for some reason, I am blind and can't realize that it's right here. I thought we've done this warp before. This time we're gonna head inside. I think we're yeah, already in the time frame for lunch. I do want to see what happens if you head inside, and then... You know, don't agree to have Emily make the lunch. But get her own separately. About how much we need to look for him, I'll go with George to find Thomas. You go off and enjoy your little tea party with Baron Harry. Wouldn't have it any other way, at least. No, I almost saw in you. I'm just gonna say this out loud, okay, so... Do we wanna have that conversation again? Do we just repeat this? I guess we do repeat this. Okay, well, never mind, I guess if you don't tell Emily to make the lunch, then you don't actually get a cutscene. I guess something else we can do another time, just like very quickly redoing this chapter. Is we can check any of the descriptions for the numbered umbrellas in Harry's mansion that we didn't get before because I was just kind of rushing. Oh boy, that's a very loud sound, but at least it's not like, it's all like kind of whitish noise, bassy white noise. It's not quite as obnoxious as it could be. Even if it is happening half an hour after midnight, but then again I do have the window open and it is very echoey outside this room, as I may have commented on before. Okay, I guess this particular cutscene cannot be skipped. You have to watch Michael rotate along the floor axis. And then we go. It's 356, we know this already, but we're gonna be examining all the umbrellas because why not? Just wanna know if I missed anything from these descriptions. Why would they need to number the umbrellas? That's all he has to say about the first one. Trump prefers second to first. Did we read the description for number 3 originally? I don't remember. There's room number 3, another like or dislike it. Oh, there you go. I guess I did. 4, 5, 6. I think we read 6, then we're just like, it could be an upside down 9. Well, you know, some say that those numbers are very nice when they go together. But right now I just want to see if I can... I think I skipped the description for this one, number 5. Remote scene of the Pentagon. Oh, okay. It's not anything quippy, it's just like, hey, I sure am an FBI special agent. Can we even, like, grab any more umbrellas? 4-wheel drive, 4 horsemen. Also we can. So we don't need to grab only the ones that... Alright, this isn't where you put the thing. So we don't need to grab only the ones that you do need to solve the puzzle. But let's, you know, do the thing anyway. Obviously it does make it more expeditious to grab only the ones that you need. But we are being very expeditious in other ways. We are also like being a little experimental right here. Just to find out all possibilities. Have the meeting with Harry and the chapter finishes. As we are set on the trail of the spooky red seeds. 4, 5, 6 enemies defeated, by the way. And a little bit of extra money. 40, 420, or not 420, 410. We were 10 off from having an even better pay, but there you go. And with that, I think we're just gonna go ahead and leave it there. I guess we, again, we have to go all the way back out to the title screen just to be able to get the music to start up again after we return to this menu from chapter replay. We can listen to that for a moment at least, I guess, before I shut it down. But yeah, I guess I need to make a little extra note because my little very bare bones kind of side content focused spoiler free walkthrough, sorta kinda. Not really, but sorta kinda. I mean, I wrote it with the idea that only I would see it, and I've already finished the game before, so maybe not quite so much. But anyway, let me bring the other playlist back on so I can furnish the end of the stream for now. Do want to check a few extra things so I can probably so I can hopefully at least give myself an idea of like what happens in each chapter, just plot-wise, even if I don't think I need a special guide for that. Stuff that's just like part of the the plot that you're railroaded into. And also I may be missing a few cards. I guess I'll figure that out. At least a few cards in the notes here. Also, why is that album cover a little bit bugged out? Okay, but it doesn't show up, sometimes it just bugs out. Thank you, Music B plugin that does this thing. I mean, it works when it wants to work, otherwise you have to poke it to get it to work right. Percussive maintenance, if the percussion is just like pausing and unpausing the track real quick to get it to reload that. But yeah, that's we're gonna be leaving it off for now. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to do a little bit more of this on the weekend though. Like I mentioned, sometimes I feel like I want to, but I don't really have the chance to. But if I do, it would have to be like either tomorrow or on Sunday. I don't think I'll be able to do it on Saturday. So I think I got a thing on Saturday night that I probably gotta be occupied with. But yeah, there you go. It's some more spooky investigations with York and Zack, and got a fake suspect in custody, and we'll be coming back to see what Harry's role is in all this. I'm gonna take a quick look at what things look like over here, see if there's anything else I want to remark on right now, but the answer is probably not so. So with all that having been said, I think I'll just sign off with the usual. You'll take it easy, I think, everybody, for me like always. Thanks for chatting, always great to hear people chat. And I will be seeing you later.